You know
Nah,
what I
y'all got it. Y'all got it.
mean?
Yo,
Yes,
yo,
sir.
yo, 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 yo. It's another episode. We checking in on a Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. We got a special guest in the building. Ab Soul, straight from the
Yes,
West Coast.
sir.
Leroy Green in the house. Sir Vaughn, what's good, brother?
What's good? Survive. Yes,
It's,
sir.
it's part two.
Oh, that's the other homie.
It's part two from an interview
Yeah,
from last week. You know, he's on the video set, you know what I'm saying, on
Mhm,
Saturday or whatnot. And now we pulling up for part
mhm.
two. What's good, my G?
Yeah,
yeah,
man, ain't nothing y'all got. Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it.
yeah. I mean, like when I tried to get at you, and first, thank you, man, for coming through, man. Because when I got up this
Mhm,
morning, I had a music meeting this morning, right? But when I got up, like a word
mhm,
just kept hitting me in the head, and that word was opportunity, man. And that's like a
mhm.
powerful word to me, man. You know what I mean? And I really put a lot on that
Yeah,
opportunity. But you know, yeah, no, seriously, and thanks to your team too as well. But
no, for
when we
sure,
called
for
you, you
sure.
was doing a video. Yeah. No, no, for real though, man,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
real. So
Mhm.
how did it go that night, man? With Vince Staples, you were shooting for California Dream, right?
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's getting chopped up as we speak. Hopefully it come out clean.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well, for everybody, I know y'all think this is Ab Soul, right? But this is Soul Burger. This is Soul Burger that you know what I mean that I had pull up because I was trying to decode this album, y'all. But I can't. I gotta go to the source with this one, man. I gotta go to the
Right.
source. So I gotta ask Soul Burger about it. But we gonna get it cracking. This is the guy, Rap Genius, right? This is one of the guys
Mhm.
that inspired Rap Genius. Just for y'all
Correct.
that this is mastery in lyricism that I know firsthand. You know what I'm saying? Now, I know this
Right.
brother is the truth when it comes to the pen. For real, for real. So it's an honor and a privilege to have you in the building. You know what I mean? 1/4 of the black hippie, man. You know what I mean?
Mhm. All that. All that.
Yes, sir. So just real quick, last episode, because a new Ice Cube record came out, and earlier this
Mhm,
week we was talking about conscious rap. You know what I mean? And the
mhm,
boxes that it gets put into, and things of that nature, right?
mhm.
Which I feel that it's a necessary. It's definitely a necessary, and I feel like it's the top level of like when you master your craft, when you get into that conscious bag, I feel like that's the top level. So being that you and your squad have come out, you're in LA, and now you see a unification of the streets in LA.
Mhm.
How does that feel, man? Because that musically, you and your team, Kendrick, Schoolboy, J Rock, TDE, y'all have been pushing that kind of like your music is real, but it is a unity there, and now you're seeing it manifest in the street for real, man. How does that feel, my brother?
Oh man, it feels excellent, man, because it's been like a premise of ours, if you will. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that, that I guess that'll tie in with your I guess with your idea, like maybe conscious rap. It's
Hmm.
kind of like, I really don't like that title really, because I mean, everybody's conscious, right? Or you're dead,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But I get the sentiment or
Right.
whatnot. But
Hmm.
we move with a purpose. We had a movement from the beginning, you know what I'm saying,
Right.
to unify, you know what I mean? Like, we, Black Hippy, yeah, but we like the real Black Panthers, if you will, just like to keep that vein alive, you know what I'm saying? To just move with a purpose, to unify and bring everybody together, you know what I'm saying? Not even just like gang culture, but everybody, you know what I'm saying? We go out to these shows and we see people of all different colors, you know what I'm saying? And
No doubt.
it's just a
Yeah.
beautiful thing, period, you know what I'm saying? So, you know.
That's important, and that leads into my
And shout
next
out to
question.
Cube. Yeah, definitely shout out to Cube. You know what I'm saying? One of the
Yeah.
trailblazers, one of the pioneers.
Come
You know what
on,
I'm
man.
saying? Like, they move with
Come
the
on.
same purpose in their own way. And we just trying to keep that going. You know what I'm saying?
For real, for real. And that leads to my next question, because before I get into Soul Burger, right? And I got into a little bit with you when on the phone with you last time. So I'm only got, about 4 questions with that Soul Burger anyway. Because I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
narrow, I'm gonna start with like in the middle of the album with that. But
Okay.
you was in the middle of two titans, two lyrical titans recently, because you got K Dot, your brother, and you got Cole. Now,
Yeah.
my question is, because you being a lyrical samurai, right? You know how
Hmm.
to battle somebody without it going left. Like
Yeah.
you can
Yeah.
battle someone and just showcase skills. That's the homie Servan right there. What up, boy?
Sir,
You know what I mean?
Salute. Salute.
So
it's good, man.
what do you, and the team I represent, we're on that type of time, you know what I mean? And we
Hmm.
want to
Right.
develop and move the culture forward. So what do you think needs to happen so that the next time someone steps in the battle arena and they're at the level of a J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, that they could battle and it could be fun for everybody based on just the skill? Do you think that's even possible, Absol? You know what
No,
I mean?
absolutely. Anything is possible. But I mean, you
Yeah,
got to think about it like this. And I'm glad you mentioned, you know, Dot and Cole in particular,
yeah,
because I mean, unpopular opinion, I really like the stance that Cole took in the whole situation. I mean, because it was kind of like a three, like how do you bat? Like, what was it supposed to be, a 2-on-1? You know what I mean? It was kind of
yeah,
confusing.
right,
So
right,
just him kind of removing himself from, just me personally, I don't know, and yeah, but me and Dot are obviously, family. You know what I'm
right.
saying? And Cole is my brother though, but I mean, y'all know who the gang is, I mean, right? But
Ganging them,
yeah,
ganging them.
right. So I mean, I personally, and Cole kept it rap. He kept it on wax for what he did do, and
No
then
doubt.
he took the stance that he did. I feel like if he would have continued, they would have kept it there on that level because we come from that cloth. I don't know, the other gentleman that well, I don't know him personally, you know what I'm saying? So I can't really
Right.
speak for him or whatever. But that's where we come from. Like, we used to battle in the street. I text battled on online. Like I used to, I'm a
Right.
text seed too. So
Right.
it don't have, it could stay right there between us as men. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just where I come from, you know what I'm saying? So,
For real. No,
but
I hear
but
you.
but I mean, but but the music business and entertainment is different from just rapping in the street. It's more
Right.
like you gotta, it's more mechanics involved, which I mean, shit, this is what we signed up for, so you gotta respect it
So,
too as well. I mean, you don't have to agree, but I mean, shit, like, you going to
yeah,
war, like, all is fair, you going to war,
no
kinda, you know
doubt.
what I mean? But but in my personal opinion, I would like for all like battles and and under the scape of hip hop to remain between the two contenders. You feel what I'm
Right.
saying? Like I could battle, like I like, they have battles like that. I could battle you and compliment you. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like they have those too, like, right? They have like the battles where they like compliment each other. Like it's so many
Yes.
different ways that you could go about, displaying, your skill level
Yeah.
and
I
on a
I could battle
competitive
someone and not even diss them. I could battle someone,
and
rip,
compliment you and
you know what I'm
compliment you.
saying? Yeah,
Seriously,
man.
I could battle you and rip you apart with
Yes.
compliments. I could kill you
Thank
with
you.
kindness. You feel what I'm
Thank
saying?
you.
So I mean, but that's just me, that's me talking. So I can't speak for everybody in this, in this arena. But just
Right.
keep hope alive, man, and hope. I think if everybody, took the time, like just as far as hip hop. I don't know how old are you guys? Are you guys fairly young? I'm an
I'm
uncle
old.
now.
We old,
I'm
man. We old, man.
34. I'm old, bro.
34. Okay, y'all in the 30s.
I
Okay, we
know
in the
I'm
30s. Okay.
34. I'm the youngest out of the bunch.
Okay,
Right.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, we all uncles then. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Right.
mean,
I done
like, yeah.
crossed the
So
40s.
okay, cool. Okay, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, big homie. All right, big.
Yeah,
Okay, some big.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
big homie in here,
I'm a
My,
man.
my, my,
OG.
my,
I'm 40. I'm 41, so I'm old, man.
All
I'm
right,
old.
gang.
right.
No, you good. Yeah, that's right, big
Yeah.
homie. So yeah. So I mean, I think it's kind of like, I take it upon myself, like to,
Yeah.
we kind of, I'm in a sweet spot. I feel like to where like I can still kind of like communicate with the youth
Right.
and like still remain like the little homie to the OGs. You feel what I'm saying? And like
Right.
like I'm KRS too. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't, I'm soul
KRS
brother
too,
number
right?
two. I'm soul brother number two. Like I do that intentionally because it's like I feel like it's also a premise of mine to stick to the roots. You know what I'm saying? Know your roots and who you're rooting for. All of that. I think that that's
Absolutely.
important for if you know what hip hop is about. It's intelligent movement. You know what I'm saying? To be hip is to be hip is to be intelligent. The hop is the movement. I can't say that enough. And that's
No.
KRS One. So I'm saying like
Right. Right.
talking about like the five elements of hip hop. Do y'all know the five elements of hip hop?
Yes,
Oh yeah,
sir.
I know the Infinity Stones, man. The MCing, the DJing, the breakdancing, the graffiti,
Speedy.
and the knowledge itself or the beatboxing.
Yes,
You
sir.
know what I mean? But that's why I'm
Oh,
trying to add the
you real
conscious tone.
you a real OG. Yeah, they yeah that
Yeah, come
beatboxing
on.
is that's the
Come on, Ab.
that's the mystery gemstone. Yeah, okay, you got it.
The mystery
So
gentle. You know
so
I'm from
now
the
so
Jedi
now
school.
now now I know who I'm talking to. Okay, bet. So
Okay,
yeah,
right,
so
right,
so I feel like it's our I take it upon myself to just make sure we keep those
right.
we keep the roots you know fertile. You know what I'm saying? We keep the roots toiled. You know what I'm saying? We toil that garden. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
No
you
doubt.
feel me?
And
You
that's the
helping us
mission.
do that.
That's the mission of According to Hip Hop, is to bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying, between generations. Like
Yeah,
we
yeah.
we in that sweet spot, like you said. From we grew up on KRS, we grew up on Outkast, Goody Mob, NWA.
Boom,
You know what I'm saying?
boom.
Too Short. You know what I'm saying? And now
Yeah,
with a
yeah,
new generation of folks like yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like Dot and Cole, and you know what I'm saying, folks like that. You know what I'm saying? It's just a
yeah,
bridge, and we try to have those conversations between Servan's the young man in the bunch at 34. We have those
yeah.
conversations and kind of speak about the history of hip hop and also the future and also today. But Servan, you had a question before Leroy goes back with his
Mhm.
other question. Servan, what's your questions you
Yeah,
have, brother?
definitely. So, Ab, like, I was on to you when I was in college. I went to FAMU. We seen
Okay.
like you jumped off the porch, and we seen like the momentum you had. And I remember reading the article that you did with Billboard, and you mentioned by the age of 30, you wanted TDE to be um, the the best dynasty or organization in a record label in history of hip hop. Now that
Yep.
time has went by, and we're here now. Do you see that what you manifested stands true to what you once spoke to existence?
Well, I mean, in my eyes, for sure. I mean, but ultimately, it's up to the people. I'm real firm on that. But I mean, in my eyes, and I grew up in, a lot of y'all know I grew up in music retail. I grew up in a family owned record store. Um, so
Right.
judging,
Legendary.
right, legend, the world famous
Yeah.
VIPs. I grew up at
Yeah.
Magic Disc Music. You know what I'm saying? But like, having that, that background and that intelligence, that IQ, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I look at
TDE it's historic. It's for sure
Yeah.
historic. You know what I'm saying? And
definitely. I
I'm the
look at
only and I'm the only TDE artist that is only TDE. I'm not like signed to like, I don't have any like joint ventures with any other like majors or anything like that. I'm strictly TDE. So, you know,
Fine.
to go as far as I've come with just our machine, it speaks volume to the possibilities. You feel what I'm saying?
That's
yeah,
absolutely true.
definitely because I look at that roster. I look at how long TDE's been going, and you guys are not slowing up, and you guys are putting out amazing artists. And when we go
Mhm.
and we're looking at these record labels and the longevity and their roster, I think what you manifested actually is for good conversation today when we
Mhm.
really look at the grand scheme of things.
Right, yeah. And I mean, manifest is one thing, but we we get it in.
Definitely,
You
yeah.
know,
Fact.
Yeah.
faith without work is dead. You know what I'm saying? We really get it in. You know what I'm saying? So, for sure.
Yeah.
Leroy.
No, y'all definitely do work, and that is, that can't be that's serious. It's a lot of work that goes into this. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
I appreciate that because I know what that grind is. Like when we first called you, you was grinding in. So we
yeah.
know it's a grind for real. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
But
and that's my bad about that too. The timing. You know what I mean?
oh, come on,
You
man.
know.
We
You
we
know.
we pro art. We artists first over here, man. You come through here, it's always open door. Artists can say whatever they want to say. They run the show here. The reason why that is because I grew up on the Wake Up Show, Sway and all that.
Ah, yeah, my man.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel
Yeah,
like I gotta carry that torch. I'm from the Bay Area, man. I can't
that's what's
let
up.
that man's legacy down. You know what I'm saying? And I gotta carry that type of energy because that's what
Yeah.
I want to bring to the forefront. You know what I'm
You
saying?
know, Sway. Cool story about Sway is, I was out. I actually, I moved to New York for like a couple years. Like I was bi-coastal. I had to go to where they say hip hop started. I went and stayed in the Bronx. You know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
um, I was at I get what was that? What is he at? Sirius? Is that where he at? Or
Yep.
Shade
Yep.
45? Was it
Seriously.
Shade
Yeah.
45?
For five.
Yeah,
Yep.
Shade. Yeah, yeah. And
Yep.
I just ran. I don't know if I was doing some kind of interview there, but I had just bumped into him in the hall,
Yeah.
and he was like, "Yo, you got to come do my show." And I'm like, "Oh man, I gotta go." I was with my lady at the time. Like I was like, I gotta go all the way over here. He was like, man, he gave me like cab fare, money for lunch. He was like, man, take this, go do what you got to do, and this should be enough for you to get back and fro. You know what I'm saying? Like for me
Yes,
to
sir.
come on the show, and that
Right.
was like, you know what I'm saying. So shout
Yeah.
out to Sway, man. Yeah, like that's ill to me. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Real
For
talk.
sure.
Uh,
That's I've seen things like that, and I'm trying to carry on in that. But before I get into Soul Burger,
Right.
Ron, was you about to say something?
Nah, I was saying, yeah, y'all cooking up. Y'all cooking up. Go to Soul Burger.
Yeah.
Right.
So Soul Burger, man. When I first talked to you, we talked about the intro, right? With
Yeah.
the
Right.
with the intro, but what I appreciate you about you guys is the musicality too. So
Uh-huh.
you're able to still maintain your lyricism, but
Mhm.
you're able to make it palatable. And that's, I guess, for this project, that shout out to Doughburger, man. And I saw Doughburger open up for you. I mean, hype man for you before. You know what I'm saying? So salute to
Yeah.
him, man. Salute to
Yeah.
him.
Nah. Yeah. Long live Doe Burger, man. He was none of a
Yeah.
kind, man. And this album was like, he did hype man for me, but he was not at all a hype man.
Yes,
He
sir.
was up there making sure I ain't fall off stage, man. If you really watch closely, he was up there keeping the lights out of my face, and you know what I'm saying, and making sure I worked the whole stage. If I was on this side too long, he'd move me to the other side. Like he was really Doe was really the star. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I just rap good, you know what I'm saying? Absol is just it's a not just but it's a brand that we created. You feel what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I had to, you know, not only is this, just, an ode to him, but to, let everybody know, how instrumental he was in throughout my whole career, and me,
Yeah.
just applying, a lot of the, the advice that he would try to give me, you know what I'm saying? Like him being tuned into, like uh, the more mainstream and the more, especially like performance wise, like, me just being an MC's MC, he like, man, we got to get him jumping some kind of way, dude. We got to you got to try
Right.
some new stuff. I know you can rap your ass off, man, but we got to get the people
Right.
moving. You know, they just be looking at you like in amazement, like, you know what I mean? Like we got to get them moving. You know what I'm saying? It's not just about
Right.
how good you can rap. Like we got to control the crowd for real. Like, we got to make sure they feel it and they have a good time. And that's why, like, if you familiar with my work, I always would have one song, at least one song on each project where I like say "Dope Burger," and that'll be the song that,
Yep.
like, get them jumping or whatnot, per
Go up
se. So
and go up.
right, so this project was simply me just trying to channel his energy and merge the two of us the best way that I could. You know what I'm saying?
And I
Absolutely.
caught that. I think you did that well because like on Bucko Jr. You got the
Yeah.
great like Alexander and Alexander McQueen tie
Well,
son
well,
up like yeah.
well, no,
Go ahead.
Pete. What's significant about Bucko Jr. is it's an ode to Wayne.
Mm. All right, break that
It's
down.
it's a, it's Bucko. Bucko is my brother Python P. He's the biggest Bucko, and so he
Right.
produced the record or whatever, or not or whatever, but he produced the record, crazy
Right.
record, and it just and Lil Wayne is Doe's favorite rapper, hands down. He's Wayne raised me too, but like he's his favorite rapper hands down. So that was a
Stuff.
ode to Wayne. Like, so it was based on like Birdman Jr. The song Birdman Jr. If you go
Right.
listen to it now,
Okay.
you'll see that, like,
Yeah,
so I tried to like really like channel Wayne and use as many Lil Wayne flows, like a lot of my favorite Wayne flows and cadences. So that's what that
Mm.
was. And I did that for
Okay.
Doe, but also paying homage to Wayne. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah.
why,
I, I
like,
got I got caught
y'all
off.
remember, y'all remember that record, yeah, the Birdman Jr. record, yeah, Murder
Yeah.
yeah,
Capital,
the car.
only key to,
Yeah,
yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
Of course.
United States of Delamo, 190, the Glock concealed. I really like
Yes.
sampled him.
Yes.
So when you
Yes.
listen to it
Nah,
now,
that's
you hear it,
fine.
and then I have Python, Bucko. He was Birdman in between the hook, like in the hook section. That was him, like
Okay.
being Birdman. So I thought that
All
was
right. You had to get the
yeah.
whole cash money experience.
Exactly. Top dog is the
Yeah.
army, better yet the navy. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. I
yeah,
got caught
so
off
yeah,
the
that's
acronym, born under chaos. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
that the
yeah,
born under chaos, keeping order. Pardon me.
yeah, yeah,
That was fire. That was
yeah.
fire.
Real talk. Yeah.
So, I mean,
sir.
was you about to say something, Siobhan?
Yeah, I was wanted to ask you, man, because this album was a dedication to your man's.
Right.
And I know, unfortunately, you've dealt with several losses throughout your career. With
Yeah.
this album being a dedication, how do you see you using this music as therapy for you?
Oh, absolutely. This is my way to it wasn't only therapeutic for me, but it was a way to my this is my way of keeping them alive and letting them live through me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So, you know, he never
Yeah.
he never left me. Maybe in the physical, but he never left me. So this is how I can make sure that I keep his name alive, through me. This is how I can do it. And they say, like, if you when you lose somebody, if you don't say their name again, they die twice.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? I've heard
I've
that
heard.
somewhere,
I've
and
heard
like this, so if you didn't, if you anybody that's gonna know me is gonna know Doe.
fact.
Like we're gonna
that.
go hand in hand forever, as we were before, but now more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's dope, man. Because you're keeping his memory alive and keeping that his energy alive. You know what I mean? And I can appreciate that wholeheartedly, bro. And I'm gonna
Right.
come back to that on the last song when I talk about the last song that you got on Soul Burger. But you
Okay.
also has
Okay.
yeah, you also had Squeeze first on there. Everybody
Yeah.
knows
Yeah.
I'm a J. I've
Yeah,
always loved the song Squeeze First. That I have
yeah,
always loved that song, and I never hear nobody talk about it. So I feel like it's
man,
just me playing Squeeze First. You know what I'm saying? So when I heard you get
yeah.
into that bag, I said, okay, that's it. My A alike right there. He's in that bag. But a line that you said in there, you said, read the autobiography of Malcolm X as a Christian, started
Hmm.
questioning the Reverend, like this nigga tripping. Now,
Right, right, right.
now, you also said they don't want us to frontline and resonate. I'm inviting you to combine, right? To form like Voltron. But
If
I
what?
want
No,
you
I
to
said if this resonate with you, I'm
mm,
inviting you to combine with me
combined,
till our. If this resonate with you, what? No, no, go back further.
right?
Hip hop songs are for all my brothers on the front line. If this resonate with you, I'm inviting you to combine with me until our
Combined.
multiplicity is big enough to blow them up with one bomb. Why you think we always in some bind? Because they don't want us to combine.
Come on,
You feel what
man.
I'm saying?
That,
Yeah. So that
come on,
just for
man.
clarity. Yeah. Just for clarity. Yeah. You
Yeah,
went
no,
Voltron. Yeah. You went. Yeah. You went to.
no, yeah.
Yeah. I missed a few bars, man. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm crazy, man. I'm out there,
Nah.
but no,
Nah. I
you was
like. Nah. Yeah. Yeah. We was on the same page though. Yeah. We was on the same
you
page.
know you like when the first time I talked to you, like in I don't, maybe it was, I forgot what month it was, when I rapped for you, and then I spit the verse again, and then I
Yeah.
like people was tripping like, how you gonna spit it twice, you know what I mean? But
Right.
you know,
Right.
but you
Hey,
show
you getting
love though.
that? Hey, it's you getting that? You getting that spirit, man? That's the
Yeah,
frequency. Once you catch that spark of genius, man, you gotta hold on to it tight.
man,
I can
you ain't
respect
lying.
that. I can respect that. Yep.
Yeah, but I just like that how you took both Malcolm and Martin, and just like Soul Burger, you were seeing the middle ground between both of those as well. You know what I mean? And that's very powerful. You know what I mean? That's very powerful
Word.
to me that people because people like to lean on religion instead of the human being. They put the religion before the human being. It's like
Correct.
appreciate the man too. He may be a Muslim Christian, but you got to appreciate the human. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before
No.
the
And it.
yeah,
Right. Yeah. Not to cut you off, but like I think
yeah,
my point was even I grew up heavily in the Christian church. And I am still a Christian. You know what I'm saying? Um, I it's, that's just my roots, and everything just seems to
as it should be.
come back to God for me. You know what I'm saying? And in all my research, but like reading the autobiography, it helped me to go out and actually study theology versus just taking this one. Just looking at all I know is Christianity. Let
Right.
me go do my due diligence and do my research on all of these different belief systems and find the the parallels and the you know
Yeah.
the agreements, the disagreements. That was just important for me because I had devoted myself to the Christian church. So
Yeah.
in order to really to really practice it or really believe in it, it was important for me to step out and gain some more information. So,
Right.
and yeah, religion, by definition is, it's a belief system, right?
Yes.
But I think there's a lot of power in these practices and these beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Um, and just finding your space and finding your purpose, and you know, I think it's it was just very important for me to do my due diligence and go out and just study theology as a whole versus just just my church. You feel what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. I think it's different perspectives looking at the same source. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So
Correct. Yeah.
if it's the Muslim perspective or the Christian perspective
Right.
or Buddhist
Right.
or Hindu, or
Yeah.
they they're looking at it from different points on the planet. You may be in India, you may be in Africa, you may be in Europe,
God,
but you're
God, Allah, Jah,
yeah,
Buddha,
right.
Rastafari,
You look right,
Krishna, whatever you want to. It's all a higher power at the end of the day. Like whatever you want to give name to it, and I
right.
just think that that's very significant. You know what I'm saying? So
No, no doubt, no doubt. One of our mods had a question before we go to Servan with this question. He says, "As Ab, how did the premiere track Got a Rap come into fruition? That's arguably the best DJ premiere produced track I've heard in years."
yeah,
Fire,
he actually said that. Uh, now
right?
I'm gonna give y'all the exclusive with that. Actually, what happened with that was me and Primo have been down to work ever since I did the joint with on Prime with him and Royce, me and
Right,
Mac.
right,
Uh, yeah, we did that joint, and from there, like he always would, if when we cross paths or he'd be like, I got you, since y'all, you did that for me, and I'll be like, for sure. So um, I just felt strongly about, I came up with the record, and like it took many forms. Like I wrote it to like several. I recorded it. I wrote the song and recorded it over like several different records, right? And so I
Right.
finally was like, no, this is the one for this is I need him I need him for this. So, I sent it to him, and then he sent me a couple loops that he did. And actually, in all honesty, I played it for Dot, and he was like, nah, hold on. I got one. So Dot actually sent me that record that he had
Okay.
from Primo. So
Right.
and it just worked. You know what I'm saying? Just to kind of let how much of a team player, Dot is too. How how instrumental he's always been for me. So
Yeah.
that's really how that came about, like for real.
No, absolutely. I'm gonna ask just two more questions, and I'm gonna let one of my questions go because I got a hater that's in the comments hating. I'm gonna ask his question just to troll back. But he, I mean, yeah, I'm a part time asshole too. Like when people play with me, but he wants to know
Mhm.
how you felt about, and not because I asked you this already, but he wants to
Yeah.
know how you felt about, you know, K Dot giving you your flowers in the Heart Part Six, man, because you were very instrumental, and you've seen him come up and seen him on that grind, and to be there, that's legendary. So how good does it feel to see your brother doing what he does, and also your new, Dochi in the game too, man? How does it
Yeah,
feel,
yeah.
my guy?
Well, I mean, uh, first and foremost, I'm humbled. You know what I'm saying? I'm, obviously honored. Um,
Yeah,
but it's an interesting thing because I could genuinely say the same thing about him. Like I've actually learned the most from him as a recording artist. Like I I'm sure that I studied and still study his
right,
style more than he's ever studied mine.
right.
So
Still sharp and still.
just but no, but still, yeah, but still
Right.
the fact that he would share that story. He told all of our stories, in
Yeah,
that span of a song. But
yeah.
it's just that was I'm
That was
honored,
beautiful.
man, to say the least. Yeah, for sure.
That was beautiful. So I just got one more question. So but if if Siobhan,
But
Ron,
yeah,
you
but
got,
but but yeah, for everybody that's listening, man, you too, for the very low
yeah,
price of, 47.99, can get you an Absol template. You know what I'm saying? If you want to rap like Absol too and define your pit, you feel what I'm saying? Holla at them. You know what I'm saying? We'll set you up with a little care package, man, a little template. You feel me?
they need that.
Yeah.
These rappers need that.
yo,
They need
y-
that.
yo,
You know what I'm
Leroy,
saying?
before you
you
ask your
you
questions,
too. You too can rap like Absol and
so
Yeah,
define your pit.
before you, so Leroy, before you ask your question, Servan, ask yours real quick.
Yeah. Now that you got into it, you spoke of Kenny, Leroy. I noticed on his album he had the Heart Part Six, and he speaks on his role in Black Hippy and
Yeah,
what he thinks of why it never went the way it went, because his creativeness was outside of that. Being that we never really got you guys as a collective all together on the project since,
yeah.
can we get that actual Black Hippy album, or has there been talks of it, or is there any unreleased music from you guys that you all may
Wouldn't
put out?
wouldn't wouldn't
Sure.
wouldn't you like to know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do, man. You know I gotta ask.
Yes.
I'm
Is that
sure. I'm sure you'd
is it
like to know
coming,
that.
bro? Like,
Yeah.
can we get a clue? Is
Yes.
it
Yeah.
something that
Man,
y'all
that'd
want
be
to work
crazy
on?
if
I
you knew that,
ask,
huh?
brother.
That'd be crazy if you
Yes.
knew that. That'd be so
Absolutely.
crazy if you had that answer, right? You'd be the guy. Like
Some
if you knew
Yes.
that, you'd be the
Yes.
guy, like, right? That's crazy. Maybe one day you'll be the guy, man. Maybe. You know what I'm
all
saying?
right, thought I'd get an
Not
exclusive out of you,
today.
brother. You know we want to
Not
know,
today,
man.
man.
We love
Not
it,
Yeah.
man.
today.
As a
But
collective, as
you
a
keep.
solo, y'all did
Yeah.
y'all thing, but as a group, man, we want that official project, man. So whether
Yeah,
y'all
I
working on
bet
anything,
I bet you do.
yes, sir.
Yeah. Me too. You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
If you're not catching my
No.
sarcasm, I don't, you know what I'm saying?
And
I'm catching it.
I
I'm
caught it.
catching it. I'm catching it. I'm
I caught.
catching it.
Yeah.
I'm winking
Okay.
behind these shades. I'm like
We
winking.
reading between the lines, brother. We can see
Yeah,
Yeah,
behind the shades. We see what's going on.
yeah.
We connecting
Right,
the
there you go.
dots. You know what I mean?
Word. Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay,
We
okay. You
connecting the
connect the
dots.
dots. Yeah,
I
yeah,
But
got you.
yeah.
All right,
one. Go ahead, Siobhan. Go ahead.
Go
Oh, I
ahead,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say, man, with that being said,
Yeah.
you we speak about your TDE fam. We know that I've read past interviews or seen your past interviews when you speak about how you get love from within your camp, and I see that Lupe shows you love. I see you guys. He popped out for a show of yours, and you get the love for your way of
Oh, you
approaching
talking
music.
about recently? I just popped out of his show. He was on tour with
Yeah.
Samurai.
Popped out show. But there was some past stuff where I seen where you guys shared the stage together
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
no, that's really that's one of my mentors.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I seen you guys got on
Yeah.
stage and y'all did y'all thing together, and there's love there, and people recognize you. Jay recognized you in the past,
Yeah.
and with that being said, man, does it bother you, or does it make you approach your way to music differently, knowing that you don't get the mainstream accolades or the chart love that as you should for your art, man? Does it ever change your approach to music? I seen that you were talking to DJ Ed about the
Mm.
BPMs with your music, and you want some bops as
Yeah.
well. I
Yeah.
mean, does that ever bother you or change that approach?
I mean, it doesn't bother me. It's just that's just a matter of just like challenging myself, like to to do more and to the goal is to ultimately we could call it like mainstream or commercial success and all of these
Yeah,
things and
Right.
all of that, but the ultimate goal is to honestly just to touch as many people as possible, man. To I've really had the privilege of really touching many hearts, and I don't take that for granted at all. So whatever I can do to continue to do that, and especially challenge myself creatively as an artist to perform and come with something new, like I'm all for that. So
yeah,
I've been the underground emperor forever. You know what I'm saying?
facts.
And then like I said too, like I get called underrated a lot, but it's like what I said they say I'm underrated, but wait a minute, if a million niggas saying the same thing, then y'all all just lied.
Right.
If a
Facts.
million niggas say I'm underrated, how underrated
Facts.
am I? Like, you know what I'm
Let-
saying? I think, I think
Probably.
everything is I think everything is as it should be, man. And I'm right.
Yeah.
I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And I'm gonna continue to, I'm gonna just continue to be a vessel, man, and try to stay on the path, man, God is good, man. And I just want to continue to be of service. You feel me?
Definitely.
You're doing that, man. You're doing that
Right.
service.
Thank you.
Service.
Thank
But
you.
and you're a vessel too. And shout out to Lupe too, because you guys collab a lot. And whenever y'all two Jedi's get together, that's the
Yeah.
force there. That's really the
Oh, for
force.
sure. Nah, for
You
sure.
know, Absol and Lupe together is the force.
No
Okay?
doubt. No doubt.
Nah.
No. So Leroy, ask
For
your
sure.
But
last question before we get Ab out of here.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir. But one last thing. So the
Yeah.
vessel that you are, right? Your last song,
Yeah.
"Righteous Man." You talk about Nips, man. You talk about Nipsey Hustle. You know what I mean? So I need you to, towards the beginning of the album, your Soul Burger. As the album progresses, you go back to Ab Soul, and now you
I'm
talk
not.
about Nipsey.
Well,
Okay, go
no.
ahead.
I'm glad you
Okay, I'm
said that.
my bad.
No, 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 no. But I'm glad you said that too, because that's the beauty in this though too. Like, because
Yeah.
perception is everything, and perspectives, right? Like, I love
Hmm.
hearing like how different people dissect it, and
Right.
sometimes what happens for me a lot is like people like kind of discover things that I said that I didn't even mean to, which goes back to me just being a vessel, like the boat. You know what I'm saying? The
The boat,
boat,
the
the best of
best, the
all
best of
time,
all time. Yeah, the
the
boat.
vessel,
You know,
right?
come on, man.
What's
But tell.
interesting about Righteous Man is that Righteous Man was actually the first song that I recorded for that project.
Oh wow.
So it ends where it begins, like most great movies.
Yeah.
And actually, when you listen to the project again, I'm interested, and that's Joey Badass introducing me, right? I don't know if y'all knew that,
Okay.
but
Okay. It's fine. Yeah.
yeah, he's the one that introduced me to the stage, the Soul Burger. But what
Yeah.
happens throughout the album, I want you to listen to it now, like with this ear. Like, what happens is I start off as me, as Soul.
Mm.
9 Mile is me,
Okay.
but then
That's
there's
that's
but
right.
there's a but when you listen, there's a gradual fusion between me and Doe. So it's a roller
Gotcha.
coaster ride. Like, you know what I'm saying? You kind of hear me if you're familiar with me and what I do. And then there's there's uh there's a
Like a graduate.
side that like there's a side like it goes in waves. Like, there's a side where, like, it may sound different from me, like what you would normally
Mhm.
hear from me, right? Until,
Right.
as the album progresses, I eventually merge in. We actually fuse together perfectly, and Righteous Man is the perfect fusion between me and Doe. It
Mm.
actually that's us
Okay.
together, actually. So,
I get it. I
because
get it.
because Doe is just as much of a prophet as I am. He was he we were just as much alike as we were different.
Right.
And um like the story with Nip, like, it's a true story too. Like, the second verse, I'm like telling the story of when
Mm.
when Nip passed and what that did. And they're from the similar area, like the 40s and the 60s. They
Mm.
all rolling. So, like, that was like tough for him. That was a tough loss for all of us, but for him, in that culture, right?
Yes.
Um and just and Nip, just in general, he was really our Haile Selassie, man. Like, he stuck his head in the lion's mouth for this shit. And
Right.
it was just important. It was important for me to note the sample was, composed by Terrace Martin, and the actual composition is called King Nip. So
Uh,
that's like
wow, man.
that's how that came about. Yeah, and like we like recorded it in Lemert Park on June the prior Juneteenth.
Yeah.
So that, that's where Doe was from, Lemert, and that's where we have our Juneteenth celebrations every year.
Yeah.
And it was just profound in that manner. And that was the first record that we cut, also by Python P, Bucko Senior. You feel me?
No
Um,
doubt. Yeah. Right.
and yeah, so now, when you listen back to it, like, try to listen to it as like a gradual fusion. It starts off
Yeah.
as me, but then there's just this gradual fusion of me and him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. No. No.
Hmm.
Fire, man. I appreciate that answer, man. That's an
All good.
great album. Great album from a
Thank you.
great artist. You know what I mean? And you know, you broke it down perfect. When I heard the album, I knew it was fire, but I had to go to the source, man. I had to climb the mountain and go into the, find the temple of Ab Soul and ask the questions, you know what I'm saying? And I'm glad that you blessed
Church,
me with the answers, Ab Soul. I appreciate you, my guy. You know what I'm
church,
saying?
church.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you guys, listen, man. You guys stay on the path, man, and keep up the good work, man. You feel me?
Oh,
And keep being of service.
Sir.
You know what I'm saying?
No doubt,
Yes,
man.
definitely.
sir.
We appreciate
Appreciate
you,
it.
brother. We'll touch base when we get out to the West Coast, man. With Leroy, we'll touch base.
Church on the move, man. Church on the move.
No
And
doubt, bro.
I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna
Yes,
get
sir.
back at Matt too. I'm gonna get next week. I'm looking around in LA, man. I'm gonna get back to him. I'm gonna get back to him.
Okay, bet.
No
I
doubt, man.
bet.
We
Yes,
appreciate you, brother. Thank you for tapping
Yep.
in with
Y'all be
us.
good, man. All right.
No
Y'all be
doubt.
good.
sir. Thank you,
Absol's in the
Absol.
building,
Yep.
man. We appreciate him. Appreciate his time. All
Facts.
right. That was good. So yeah, we had to do it good for y'all. We had to do it
Come
good
on.
for y'all. Hit like and subscribe. You had Absol in the building. I know y'all didn't see him on
Yeah.
Saturday. We came back and we pulled up. So it was all good.
Yeah, I didn't want. I wanted the people to know how it was real. You know what I mean? So he had to pull back up, and he was gracious about it, man. You know what I'm saying? So, we're looking to do that more, but it's really about just upholding the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? And doing what we have to do, like being of service, like he said. As y'all know, I'm very passionate about this, and I could run down a list of reasons why. And when you have somebody like an Absol, you got to hold it down. When I first came to this channel, before y'all ever saw my face, I was in the comments talking about literary devices. Then I was talking about culture over entertainment. Then I was talking about we need a new element. Then I was talking about we need to bring back Kemet science. Then I was talking about symbolism. Then I was talking about show tickets should count as record sales. Then I was talking about, I mean, y'all see, this is why I'm so passionate. So look forward to more to come. You know what I mean? More artists coming to explain or break down their music, man. And we just listen and soak up game, man. Because at the end of the day, these are going down in the archives. You know what I mean? These are going down the archives for hip hop culture. You know what I mean? No doubt.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was so much more I could have got into with him. There's so
Yeah,
many questions to ask, man, and just that he kept his word to come back was dope. Hopefully,
yeah,
we could chop it with him in the future or whatnot. But
oh, yeah,
appreciate it. Yeah, yeah,
oh,
it's
yeah.
down to earth. But yeah, so
He'll,
much more to get.
he'll double back. You know what I mean? If we got to have him double back every time he do an album, you know what I mean? If we got to double back, we'll double back. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't know if I my bad if I cut it too short. If you have more questions, you know what I'm saying. But I didn't know. My fault,
Nah,
bro.
nah, nah. I think we wanted to get him in, get him out. I think we got what we needed. I think he's an
Yeah,
interesting person, artist to interview because he's
yeah,
very cerebral, very highly intelligent, soulful brother that
hmm
that when he gives an answer, he's giving a real answer, right? It's coming from a place of thought. And it's not like a generic media trained answer, right? It's an artist that's real. He's real in his music and he's real when he communicates to his audience. So, and I respect that. You know what I'm saying? I respect artists that keep it real. You know what I'm saying? It's not just a packaged answer, it's a real, authentic, honest answer. So shout out to that brother, man. We're gonna tap in with him on the West Coast, man. Y'all brothers did an
nope.
excellent job. I want to say this: when we have guests in our house, we want to make in this house called According to Hip Hop, we want to make sure we're respectful. So I did block a few people that were kind of disrespectful when we had a guest in our house. So, we're not
Oh
above
yeah,
critiques. We're not above critiques, but you got to keep it above board. Talking about all the other stuff that we're not into that you probably wouldn't say. If it was a
oh
closer
no,
situation. Let's not do
hell no.
that. You know what I'm saying? So we will do that. We will continue to do that. If you step out of pocket and cross certain lines that don't need to be crossed, we're gonna keep this hip hop. We got people's managers watching the platform. We got other interviews scheduled, and we got your nonsense in the chat that's not productive and not pushing the conversation forward. Then we don't need that. Be
Yeah,
critical. Be critical. Be constructive in your criticism, but make no mistakes. I'll make it my business to take every 100 accounts that you have and remove you from here on out. So
yeah. No,
let
but
that be what it is.
that's a good point because it's not just us. I mean, us the people that watching that got the benefit of breaking down the album, hearing the album, but it's people behind the scenes too that were given an opportunity. You know what I mean? Like that team over there, they're hiring a new assistant. So because of this connection, somebody else is gonna get a job. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's what I'm concerned about. You know what I mean? So it's like that's real to me. That's real life. So I mean, if play if you want to play, but it's like when we say of service, it goes beyond entertainment. It goes into like real things. You know what I mean? So we gotta, let's keep it professional. And I'm gonna try to do the same. But y'all know, I could flip, but I wanna get the artists in so y'all can hear directly from them. So if y'all get why we need to go that route, y'all understand. But appreciate everybody for tuning in, and we gonna keep it moving, man. Shervon came through. Appreciate you, my
Sure.
guy. You know what I'm saying? You stick around. We still talking. You know what I mean? Where y'all want to go? I brought some albums with me because we was talking about the West Coast. We just had the West Coast, underground emperor in the building. You know what I'm saying? Oh, he come from Carson. Carson, that's where Razcast come from. You know what I'm saying? He from Carson. You know what I mean? What y'all want to do, man? What y'all want to do?
No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. But yo, man, appreciate that, man. Y'all fellas did a great job. We got a super
Appreciate it.
chat in the building. What we got? Jermaine Johnson, the super chat says dope interview. Fellas, thanks for that. Salute. Appreciate you, brother.
No doubt.
Yeah, man. I know we got a big show. This is not it's only the first part of the show. We got the top 20 hip hop group albums of all time coming up. So we gonna that's gonna be at the back half of the show. I know Leroy, you had some other things as well. So I don't know if you had anything on your mind about this Drake situation before we go. I know
Yeah, I
you.
mean,
It gets
I
deeper.
popped a lot of
It gets deeper and
yeah,
deeper, don't it?
yeah. I mean, the next move
Right?
was expected. I popped a lot of shit about that on Monday. My feelings still remain the same. That's bad for hip hop. You know, when we're talking about hip hop beefs and people suing, that's never synonymous. You know, this is the first in hip hop. This is making history for all the wrong reasons. Now, the other stuff is deeper. That's label stuff, contract stuff, whatever he has against Lucian and whatever he thinks that, Universal is doing. He's, this that's for him to figure out if that's gonna work out for him. But I can tell you what, with him doing these lawsuits, I don't see how he makes a successful return back to hip hop. Um, I think this is a slap in the face for all of hip hop. And I also don't see him being able to return back to hip hop after doing something like this, because you're not only slapping hip hop in the face, but you're disgracing the sport of battle rap when you starting to do things like this. And I don't know how other artists could think that's okay or will even stand by and support that. Even people on his own team. I don't know who's advisors on that and shit, but I
Yeah.
just think this is what happens when outsiders got too comfortable and they can't take the heat when the real culture is there front and center for you to step up and do your thing. So I just think it's some sucker shit, and I think it's just bad for the sport, bad for the art. So we'll see what's more to come from there. But I don't see him ever being able to. He should be exiled out of hip hop after this shit. And that's not me being
Wow.
like over
Wow.
exaggerated, but I don't think it's good for the sport. I think it's a disgrace to all people that take the competition to this level in the history of what it's been about. I don't care how offended you was and how the mudslinging went. You participated in it as well, and I just find it funny that you could sue for defamation or mounting up to sue for defamation when you kind of participated in some of the same things just because you alleged it instead of calling him exactly a woman beater. It doesn't make you even better. And it's some sucker shit, man. We can't respect that. So my feelings haven't changed. I'm not gonna go in too much anymore, but what I'm saying is his stuff with UMG, that's one thing, but the separate thing that you have going individually to Kendrick for that defamation shit is sucker shit, man. We're hip hop, we're to blame for that. We loved his stuff, we danced, we welcomed his bops, and he got comfortable in the culture, and this is what happens when he's not really of that and you're just a fan. So
Now I agree with you. Let me start there. So I agree with you. Now that that's out the way, everybody clear that I already agree. However, to play devil's advocate, when this battle first started, I said over and over, I said if it's gonna be a battle, then they need to be kicking stuff that's facts. Because when you say something that's a fact, it's not no repercussion behind a fact. I said that right from the gate. Right from the gate. Now we're seeing a different energy now. I'm not saying it's right. I know Drake represents a whole other, a bigger machine. You know what I mean? But when you now people can do what they want because they're gonna tell me, bro, it ain't no rules to battle, and I'm cool with that. Like I still engage in battle in real life, like lyrical battle. I do that in real life. However, I knew it was gonna get here before it got here. You know what I mean? So again, and people don't have to agree, but we need to come up with a way to battle in hip hop. Because if
Well,
we're not gonna be kicking facts, now a door is open for something else. So
I
when
can't
you
agree to
go at
that.
somebody, kick facts. You know what I'm saying?
I can't agree to that, Leroy, because it's never been a thing when we're fact checking shit. When we think about greatest hip hop beefs, there's been things said about people that may not have been true. There's been things alleged by people that may not have been true. It's a battle. If you are really into battle rap, do you think all those bars that they're saying and that shit is facts? The personals hit harder, but the gun talk, all that shit that they be doing in battle rap and URL, whatever, are we fact checking that? No, we don't even do it in that arena. There's no place for that here. Are we fact checking? I know it was a thing we really want to know if Pac fuck Faith. There was a thing where we really want to know certain things that people allege. But
Right,
overall, when we're looking at battles, is who's getting their shit off the best and who likes it the best. So whose bars are stronger, whose performance was better, who commanded and demanded that stage for the people that's the onlookers and the spectators. And for this to come to this, bro, and it was like, oh, we have to keep it to just facts. That's not what the sport is, bro. And this is bad for the sport. If you're a true lover of hip hop, a true lover
okay,
of battle, we're not gonna turn
okay,
this into some dirty shit where somebody say
right.
something and it's like let's see if it's fact. Let's get on the internet. This got to be fact. We're not fact checking. This is not a
No, I'm
presidential debate. This is hip hop.
okay,
So get your best shit off. He get his best shit off,
right,
and the people declares the winner. The people declared that
right,
Kendrick was the winner. Take your L and move on. Everybody else did. We didn't see Ja Rule's sue
right,
50. You didn't see Biggie sue Pac. You didn't see LL and Cannabis suing each other. We didn't see this. This is the first in hip hop.
right.
There's no place, man.
I mean, now so we got to be okay. If we're not gonna kick facts, then we're gonna kick lies. So everybody gonna agree that we okay with lions. You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
If everybody's okay with lying, then we got to be okay with lying across the board. Everybody gets to lie in their raps. So lying has to be now. I was never one to kick a lie, but if that's cool, it got to be cool for everybody. You know what I
bro,
mean?
there's an entertainment piece to hip hop, man. If we believed 99% of what these rappers are saying to be true, then I mean that's just idiotic. There's a lot of fiction in a lot of these raps. There's an entertainment piece to it. I'm not checking to see who's telling the truth. If we get the personals in it, that's cool. If people are sharing real shit to it, that's cool. But we know there's an entertainment aspect to this. We know there's over exaggeration. We know there's fiction. But this is a battle, not only a battle, but a battle that this guy kind of kept on, you know, baiting a guy into come into. And when a guy gets the best of you, you can't go run and cry. You know what I'm saying? That's not the nature of this. And I don't know, bro. I just never look at hip hop to say who's facts or who's fiction. I look to see who's making a
Right,
better bop, making a better sounds. It's cool if you real,
right.
but keeping it real goes wrong as well. Like just say make good music,
Yeah,
make good music. But in a
but
battle,
that's what I'm
all bets
saying.
are off, bro. All bets are off. Once you
That's what I'm
and
saying.
then the nerve of this guy, because you brought a man's wife into it, you brought a man's family into it, the allegation you made against him. If you never would have
Right,
did that, we don't see it possibly going this way. But you did. You baited that, and this is what you get for doing that. So you can't go run and bring legal into it because it ain't going your way,
right,
bro. That's sucker shit. I can't stand by that, bro. If we're real hip hop
right,
purists here, and we love the art of battle rap and what it's from, and we know all bets are off when you take it to a certain place, we like
right,
that's what he's doing is called snitching. I know it's been a thing
right.
where people love snitches in hip hop as of lately, but we've let too many in. That's we don't accept that shit. Keep that shit over there. That's not hip hop.
And again, I'm agreeing with you, right? Because like if it's gonna get crazy and go left, right? I'm with it if it goes crazy, right? However, I've seen different kind of battles. I've seen battles where people are just making up anything, and then I've seen battles where they're saying real stuff about the person, and I tend to enjoy the latter. You know what I mean? Now everyone's kicking. There is a lie in the and there's if there's an exaggeration on the truth, that exaggeration is partly a lie, right? So there is a lie connected to the truth sometimes, but there's certain things that when you call somebody a certain thing in our community and they have to wear that jacket, it's a little different than just calling them whatever. Like you call them a certain thing, that jacket is crazy. You know, that's a different kind of
Bro,
jacket.
Pop called
And
Dr.
we
Dre
we are
gay.
used to battling. So for
Pop,
us, we're used to it. The regular world, they're taking it as like, oh, like this is real? Like he's really what he's saying that he is? So they don't know that we're just kicking whatever. They think it's real. You know what I'm saying?
nah, man. Like I'm just looking at it, man. When we break down historic beefs and what's been said about people, right? There's been
Right?
things way out of pocket. We're talking about Pac calling Dre gay. There's been stuff said in interviews that go worse than these rap beefs nowadays, and we don't even see people ramping up to sue them. You don't see uh all these people on YouTube being able to be sued for the
Right.
shit that they spew and this made up shit every day and podcasts and stuff. To do it in music is crazy. Hey, you allege that this man was a woman beater. You allege that this man had his wife or his fiance had a baby by
Right.
his homeboy, and the baby may not be his, and nigga call you a pedophile. Now you in your feelings, bro. You don't pick and choose what level people go to. When you kind of you initiate this shit. You brought Pusha's
True.
Pusha's wife into things. Pusha got back at you on the story of Adidon. And now, oh, he went too far. He's talking about 40. He's sick and all that stuff, or he should have brought a kid to it. Now you see Jay Prince stepping in. No, bro, you can't keep
Mm.
throwing the rock behind your hand.
Yeah.
Fucking shit, bro. You can't do
I
that.
mean,
You can't
but
provoke
like you know,
invoke the
I hear
bear,
you.
pause, and then when that
I
bear
hear you.
bark on your ass or do something to your ass, you want to go run and
I
tell, bro. We don't do that. There's no place for that in hip hop, man.
no, I I hear you. We just had Absol on. Now, if Absol was in a battle, he's probably gonna destroy the other person, like just flat out. But he ain't. He don't even gotta go left. He could destroy the person just talking about how dope he is. And I hope that in the future we could get out of like that type of bag. Now, if it goes in that bag, hey, you know, we all down for to go to the lowest common denominator. If we gonna go there. But I hope that in the future, if we're gonna battle, I'm battling based upon like, bro, I'm a better artist than you. And that's what I'm standing on. I don't have to go into like, you know, is your family member sick with a disease? Let me get your family. Let me get your
Uh,
family.
See,
Let me
that's the
get
thing,
your, you know,
Leroy.
let me get your
You
wife.
take it
Let me
low,
get
I'm gonna
your
take it to
kids. Let me
hell.
get your, you know what I mean?
You take
Yeah,
it
go
low, I'm gonna
there.
take
Go
it to hell.
there.
This is rap beef,
Go
bro. You
there.
take it low, I'm gonna take it to
Go
hell.
there.
Just because you push me,
Okay.
don't mean I'm gonna push your
Right.
ass back. I might sock your ass. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like
So yeah,
we can't.
it's gonna
If
go there
wait,
too.
when you
Like
say all
once you
gloves
go
are
to a
green,
certain place, once we go to a
yeah.
certain place, we're gonna have another situation like we had in the '90s. That's bound to happen.
But
So
this
if
is
we're
not
cool with
going
that,
there. These are words, bro. These are
if we're
words.
cool with that,
And these are
I
words. And like say, and I can't feel sorry for Drake because what if those allegations of women beaters stepped on Kendrick? They just announced
got
that this man performed the Super Bowl, right? What if that fucked with the money? What if that label slapped, especially in this climate? What if that would have stuck on him?
you're right.
Nobody's we're
You're
we're
right.
we I know it goes above a lot of people's heads because Kendrick won, but
Right.
it's like, what if those allegations and stuff would have stuck on him? What would that did for him? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know the inner things of how this affected Drake because from what I know is if you prove defamation, if you say defamation, you got to have proof that this stopped you from something. This has stopped you from making money or stopped you from
Right.
opportunities. So I don't know if that's the case necessarily, but I know this man got a world tour. He's doing like he's kicking off in Australia. He's going on
Right.
tour. February 9th, same day as the Super Bowl. So it didn't stop that bad, bro. These things that you're doing is pussy. It sounds like that this is you going to picking on the kid. That kid beat your ass, and you running to tell the teacher. This is what this is,
Well,
bro.
that's
And
what
I
it is.
respect,
That's what it is.
you know what I'm saying? I can't respect this, bro. There's no way nobody could help me see this from a way of saying, oh, well, man, Pedals, he has the right to sue. No, bro, you took it low, he took it further. Now, if you want to take it low, be prepared to take it there, bro. But if you didn't want to stand in the paint and get your hands dirty, you should not have started that. Now, this is what
So
you get. Now,
last question on that. Last question on that. I'm gonna let it go because I'm agreeing with you. Like I said at the beginning, let me make it clear. I just playing devil's advocate. But can y'all see now, you and people watching, why Cole would be like, "I'm cool." Do we see that? You know, so do we see, or do we still
but this
think
is
that he?
different because I don't
You
I
know what I
don't
mean?
think Kendrick dislikes Cole. I don't think he hates Cole. I really think he is
Yeah.
personal with Drake. I don't think he likes what Drake has stood for throughout time. I think at some point there was a relationship with them that was mutual respect. And at some point in time that there's something that happened that made this guy not like him. And reasonably
Right.
so, the way the moves I see Drake's making and things like that, I can see why certain individuals may not like this man. He's the Karen of hip hop right now, and like I said, there is
All
nothing
right.
I could do to defend that shit, man. It's like I don't respect that.
Karen and
I mean,
hip hop, man. No, I hear you though. I hear you for sure. For sure. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, man. This era is wild, man. But you know, it is what it is. You know, it is what
yeah,
it
man.
is.
I mean, like I said, man, I've heard so many egregious things in hip hop, battles and things that's been said about people. And like I said, the culture will tell you who the winner, the loser. Hey, man, lick those wounds and get back ready to get back in the game, bro. We don't have time to feel sorry for each other. We don't have time to
No doubt.
go the legal, man. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's first of all, I don't know if anybody really took this pedophile thing for Drake serious. I mean, there was jokes, there was memes, there was things like that.
Yeah,
But and
I'm gonna let it
he has
go. I'm gonna let it
suspect
go.
videos. He has suspect videos and things like that
Yeah.
that you can go back if
All
you want to
right.
go down a rabbit hole of that. But I really don't.
Right.
I don't think this stuck on him the way he's taking it, dog. This is
Okay.
I
Okay.
don't know, bro. Like the jokes is gonna be
I don't
jokes. If you
know.
can't take the
I
jokes,
don't know.
don't dish what you can't take, bro. Like
Yeah.
I can't respect that, man. Like y'all can say what y'all want. People say
Right.
what they want. I don't respect that, man. You've been warned. You took it there, and then
Right.
when he took it there,
Yeah. He did.
you can't act like a pussy, bro. You can't
Right.
do that. I don't respect that.
No doubt.
No, he did. He
Jermaine
did.
Johnson with the super chat says, imagine breaking news. Rapper Jay-Z is suing Nas for defamation on Ether. The alleged victim says that, in fact, does not have decency. Shake him.
I mean,
Oh,
but we
man.
laugh, but we laugh, right? And that is funny, but them two gentlemen was gonna go a different route. It wasn't gonna be just rapping. They was gonna go a different route. So
I don't think it would have got that
luckily
far.
luckily a parent got involved and was like, whoa, because they was gonna go somewhere else. That wasn't gonna be just rapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I think it's much more iller to me. I'm just talking about me personally. Y'all know, man. I think it's iller if I dish you and I could see you in public now and be like, you know, I got you, right? And they be like, yeah, you got me, bro. And be like, okay, dap it up. And we both move on.
But
I
this
think
wasn't
that's
that. These are
iller.
two guys
I think
that
that's dope.
dislike
I
each
think
other.
that's better. You know what I mean? To me,
I
you
don't.
know.
As long as it doesn't turn violent, you don't have to be friends. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes in competition, we ain't
I'm
here to
not
make friends. I even know that from football. Like, hey, we line up
right.
against each other. I'm trying to take your fucking head off, G. And then afterwards, we can
Right.
shake hands. But if I don't like you, nah, fuck sportsmanship. I don't like you, fam. And so,
Right.
if you engage in this, be prepared for where this is about to go. The reason why I don't think that would have
It's
turned
gonna
that way
go.
because they know what that green light looks like coming from Cali, and you know what it is there. But you want to know why I say this is stupid? And I'm just gonna be totally honest with you. If you're a pedophile, that's public knowledge. You could literally go look that up. So for anybody who thinks that shit is serious, you're an idiot. You know what I'm saying? Like these are words.
It's
At
a
this
lot of
point,
those
these are
out there.
words.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
and
no,
that
I
stuff
mean
is look, legal. People that are really deemed pedophiles
PDF
are
file.
registered, bro. That's public information.
PD
So
PDF
in
file.
this rap beef,
Yeah.
if you took that serious, you're an idiot, bro. Do you think you would have been in the U.S. if you were a Canadian and you over here and you commit a pedophile crime? You
Yeah.
think you
No,
still gonna
I don't
like?
think Drake
Let's
takes
really
it
be
I don't
smart
think
here,
Drake took it
bro.
serious.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
think
but
Drake
it's serious enough where we have defamation because, like, why does this bother you so much? So will you take it there? You think people really believe this, or is it where there's smoke, there's smoke where there's fire, and people are kind of cooling it on you. I don't even see how that's the case, bro. Like I'm saying, man, like this shit is whack, man. It's corny, bro. I can't stand
Hey,
behind
man,
that.
he's done with it.
I can't fathom defending that.
Right. I'm just playing devil's advocate. That's all, man. Because it's battles in, like, I remember going to high school and I never told people that I rap. And the day I said, "Oh, they found, oh, he raps," there was a line of MCs that all came at lunchtime to battle me. That's how serious. So it was a line. Like, so it's like I come from that, like, where battles was just a battle. It wasn't nothing more than that. So to see it now become more than that, I'm really not with that. But I get it though. You know what I mean? I get it. So it is what it is. Ron,
Yeah,
where'd
if
you
we,
go?
yeah,
But yeah,
I'm
go
just
ahead,
saying,
go ahead.
if you go into a battle just wanting to keep, oh, we're just talking about who's better than artists, whatever, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose because
Why
what I
you
find
gonna lose?
the reason why is because I'm not going to a battle to play fair. I'm not going into a battle to play nice, bro. I'm going there to rip
That's
your
not
head
fair.
off, G. I'm going there to
But
rip
you
your
could do
head off,
that.
G. and
You could do
and
that.
people want to see blood when there's a
You could
battle.
do
They
that.
want to see people get the best of you, all that clean. This is not 106 and Park freestyle Friday. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is the grand
Okay.
stage. This is the grand stage, and when we're talking
Okay.
about historical hip hop beefs and things that have been said, we can't start policing hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We can't, this because this is what this leads to. When you're doing this is policing hip
Yeah.
hop. This is
Yeah, it
censoring.
is what it
This
leads
is
to.
going to lead to
Yeah.
censorship of hip hop, and that
Yeah.
defines
Yeah.
that goes against everything of what hip hop stands for. We're not to be censored. We should be able to say whatever we have and get it off. You know what I'm saying? We have lyrics
You've
being
seen,
used
yeah.
in court. We have this type of stuff, man. Come on, man. Like,
I
where are
hear
we
you.
at now? Where are we at?
You've seen Lupe Fiasco engage in battles, right? How far did he clearly is taking heads off. So did he really go left, or was he just saying,
I'm
"Look,
a
I'm iller"?
I'm a
Yeah, I mean?
I'm gonna give it a stack, bro. In all respect to Lupe, but Lupe didn't end nobody's career. He didn't put
Where?
nobody's career. He didn't put nobody's back against the ropes either. I'm
When's the
just gonna
last
keep it a
time you
stack,
heard a
bro.
Royce the 5'9" record?
Bro, he didn't end Royce.
Okay,
That's what I'm
I don't
saying,
want him
bro.
to.
Like, I'm just gonna keep it a
I don't
stack.
want him to.
Like, he didn't, bro. I don't see people, like, much respect to Lupe, but I don't
I
see
don't want him
people
to.
saying, "Oh man, y'all see what Lupe did to old boy? It's over for him." Who says that? Who's saying that?
I'm just saying, where he at? Y'all see Royce the 5'9"? Respectfully, Royce. Respectfully, because we want you back outside, brother. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying. But have you where have y'all seen him? I don't,
And
I'm just
people are
saying.
saying, "Oh, these serious allegations. He's calling him a pedophile." You sound like a Karen too, nigga. This is hip hop. Like, come on. This stuff
Hey,
is factual
no, I ain't
information. You can
tripping.
look this stuff up if it's true, bro. But if it's not true, man, come on, man. Like, if we entertain everything in that type of manner, bro, then
I'm gonna
we're
keep
just
it
in a different
100.
world, dog.
I'm gonna
Like,
keep it
this is
true.
hip hop, G. This is hip hop.
No doubt, no doubt.
Yeah,
Well, no doubt, no doubt. So we'll have more for this conversation in the days ahead. My opinion on it. Servan and I, we were texting about it, and I'm with Servan on this, man. I think this is a sucker move. I think it's not hip hop. We've never seen anything like this. For one, if the allegations that he's alleging in his lawsuit is true, then he should have
right.
handled his business a little bit better than that. Don't do that at the beginning of not before you engage in a battle. You know what I'm saying? Handle your business on that end first. If you knew how it was going down, I seen Funk Flex out here
Right.
saying that this is a bigger situation and that it is for the culture. But I disagree. I just think there's a lot of different moving parts here. It comes across as disingenuous. It comes across as taking an L.
Yeah.
It just looks bad, man, all around. I think the best path forward, if I'm in the OVO camp, which I'm not and don't want to be, I would say make some music, B. You know what I'm saying? Try to make some music,
I mean, just
make some
rap.
music, make some music, go on
Just rap.
tour, and let it alone, man. If you're not what they say you are, you shouldn't bother you. You know what I'm saying? Now, and if that's some business you need to take care of, maybe take care of it with the label. So make it apart from that. So maybe again, I don't really speak on other people's business. I don't want to start doing that now. Maybe there's
Right.
something in his contract he needs to work out, but it just appears on the surface that it's in retaliation from taking the L, and I can't rock with that. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, I
No doubt.
mean,
I mean,
just
he
to
could
hear,
just rap. Just rap.
just,
You know, I don't know why he
yeah,
stopped rapping,
just
but just rap.
just make
That's
good
all you gotta
music.
do.
You release this music, and No Face may
You know?
be a good record, but when you're dissing this man still after who did, like, come on, bro, like, you every move, if you really look at every move this guy has made since Not Like Us, has been poor move. Whoever's his advisors, whoever's on his side, every
Right.
move was bad. You know what I'm saying? This is results of him. Just go out there and make good music, bro. That's all you have to do. You're getting legal involved in all this stuff, man. You the hip hop Karen. I can't take that serious, man. And I would
Right.
say this if it was any other rapper doing this. You know, it's not just Drake. Any other rapper do this. There's no place for this in hip hop, man. And like, it just sounds like dweeb stuff when we're talking about fact checking battles and stuff. That sounds like it. I'm not academics. I'm not sitting behind a computer
Yeah, but
doing
I
all.
don't mean it like that.
Well, no, I'm
I
not.
don't
I
mean
don't
it
like
like
the hip
fact
hop
checking.
dweeb stuff, bro. Like,
I don't mean it like
I'm
that.
yeah,
I mean,
and
like,
I'm just
if in a battle, if I say I'm better than you, like you don't have to fact check that. That's just a general statement. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mean fact check like literally fact check, but I mean making rhymes that are general, that are just general statements. Like now again, some people they can't do that. They can't write those rhymes. They have to take it someplace else. So I
but this is
understand
the
that.
guy that could though. We know that Kenny could. Kenny was dissecting this guy without even taking it there first. This guy took it low, and then you got the result of somebody matching your energy. But he
That's true.
beat you at your.
True.
That's
That's
what I'm
true.
saying, bro. We can't make it seem like Kenny was in like he wasn't able to be able to just keep it on the surface
No,
of just
Kenny's
having
able.
hip hop. When
Kenny's
that's where
able.
it was. We had a guy that went low, and we had the other one that was willing to take it lower. Don't
Kung
take it to that
Fu,
place if you don't
very
want to
able.
be there, bro. You did this to yourself. So I can't feel bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just saying, when we're talking about hip hop and the history of hip hop, and people are talking about the integrity of hip hop and all that stuff, integrity in the word hip hop being side to side sounds crazy when you really think about the grand scheme of things. Because
Whoa,
hip
whoa,
hop
whoa,
lost
whoa, whoa,
integrity.
whoa.
Hip hop lost an integrity when
Integrity.
money was involved.
We gotta
You
have
know what I'm saying?
integrity, man. We gotta
Hip
have
hop lost
integrity.
integrity when money became involved. If that's the case, then a lot of this stuff won't be marketed how it's been marketed. The content
That's
of
too bad.
music, the where it went the way it went. We would have still been
That's too
on the
bad.
clean music. If that was the case, and every rapper been out here rapping like Will Smith, the
No,
content would have
not
been
not.
on
It,
Will Smith.
that's too bad, man.
It would have been
I
on
think
MC
that's too
Hammer
bad
still.
that.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
I think it's too bad that hip hop lost integrity, man. Because integrity is a key thing. I can't imagine moving without integrity. Yeah, I mean that doesn't even seem like I wouldn't do that. But I mean, if that's
No,
where we at, that's where we at. You know what I
no. Let
mean?
me get to these super chats real quick. Andre Miller with the super chat says hip hop is saying nice for what to this brother. Remy Essex with the super chat says he went highly personal with Royce. He did get a little personal with Royce. Black Wealth and Power says, I know we're not ready to have this conversation, but battle culture in hip hop is extremely toxic. It's a net negative for the culture and produce early deaths.
They can, they
Well,
can
nah,
survive.
I disagree. I disagree with that. I think battling in hip hop is one of the main ingredients of hip hop, right? You always had people battling, right? Whether when the
Right.
violence got interjected into it, that was something else. That was beef. That was personal animus. But battling has always
I
been a
mean,
part of the culture. Can't remove
not
battling from the
now.
culture.
I'm with the youth. I'm outside with the youth. They like, yo, somebody say a rhyme about me. I'm
But that's
I'm
misguided
getting
youth,
rid of.
though.
I'm getting them out of here. We not rapping.
But that's
I'm getting
misguided youth, though,
the
Leroy.
youth.
That's
The
misguided
youth are
youth.
saying they not rapping.
That ain't. But
Like the
that's
youth
not
are
hip
like,
hop
you
though.
say my name,
That's not hip hop.
I'm getting you out of here.
That's not hip
But
hop
they
though.
rap.
But that
But they are
mentality
rappers.
is not hip hop though. And the music they make,
But
it may
they
not be
are
hip hop
rappers.
either. They may be rapping, but
But I'm just saying
might
they
not be
are
hip hop.
rappers. They are rappers. Like they literally rap. And they're like, if someone says my name, I'm teleporting that person up out of here. That's it. They're not down for no 16. They ain't trying to
But
cipher.
that's not hip hop
They gonna
though.
drill
That's
on
not
you.
hip
They
hop.
gonna drill you.
But that's
They
not
gonna
hip hop
drill
though.
you.
That's something else. That's
I wish it was. I wish it was rap. I try to tell them, bro, rap. You just can rap. Just rap.
but that's
They
a
like, I'm not trying to hear that.
that's
I'm
a
not
debate
trying to hear
that's a
that.
debasement. That's a debasement of the culture. That's not hip hop. Hip hop, when I'm talking about the core of hip hop was based, it was rooted in battle elements, right? You battle an MC on your block, on your corner. That's hip hop. This what you're talking about now. These young kids
They're
are
drilling you.
expressing themselves via rap and via something that sounds like hip hop. It's really not really hip hop. It's like a demonic energy that's manifesting itself in rap music. It's not really the element of hip hop, and it's
Well,
incumbent upon us to kind of to
That's
take
what I
that out
tell
of it.
them.
so
That's
I'm
what I
gonna keep it
tell
a
them.
stack. I'm gonna keep it a stack, bro. And even though there's some of this music I don't agree with, or some of this stuff I probably don't listen to, who are we to say what's hip hop and what's not hip hop? All of this has been a branch and an extension of us looking at the people before us and seeing how further we could take it. So we seeing that these young guys are doing what they're doing. Let's look at who was their influences and they looking at who could take it further. Now, if it spill out into the streets, that's on some other shit. But to not say that they don't have a right to express their culture, they don't have a way to talk about the environment around them, to not speak about their personal things that they go through, we're doing a disservice to what hip hop is, bro. Because there's a place for everything. The thing that we don't like is when it turns ugly to the outside. But I think everybody has a time and a place to tell their story, and it can go from
That's
region to
true.
region, city to city, state to state. It's even overseas. We can't police who's able to tell their stories,
No,
represent their culture,
No,
where they're
but
from, and
listen
all
though,
that. It's
listen
no,
though.
no, no,
still
no, no,
Some
let
of
me
these
respond.
kids.
Let me respond back because he's kind of challenging my thought, which I like. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm anti-police. I've been on this platform saying, look, I'm not anti-police. I'm saying anti-policing art. I always tell people, I always defend the artists and say, hey, I don't think we should tell an artist how to express themselves lyrically or musically or how to express themselves via their songs. What I'm saying is that it has to be some level of accountability. It has to be a level of being as the older generation or a bridge between the generation to speak to these kids and say, talking about your ops, all the dead ops that you taking out, pissing on their grave and smoking on their mama pack. Is that really hip hop, or is that some kind of is that
Now
really
it's
an
hip hop.
expressive art, or is that something that we can say we can check that and be like, that's not really hip hop, oh young man, that ain't hip hop. That's something else.
I
That's a debasement of the culture. You know what I'm saying? Talking about you
but
going to go
they don't know.
piss on somebody's
They don't
grandma's
know.
mother's grave. That is that really artistic, or is that some kind of vile demonic
They don't know that.
expression via music? I'm just asking the question.
like I said.
I'm just saying a
I
lot of them.
I'm
Some
not
of them are good.
defending.
Some of them are
I'm
good
not
kids,
defending.
and
I'm not
they're
defending.
trying to be something else. And
I'm not
they're
defending.
really good kids putting on a costume. And and I be telling them, just be the good kid that you really are. I really know you. You about playing sports, playing video games. This whole image that you doing ain't really you. They're like, well, I don't care if it's really me or not. I'm drilling. That they don't
But
care if it's real or you know what I mean?
there's a certain percentage of them that's like that, but there is a real percentage that's really living what they're talking about. And it's funny because it's so hypocritical in hip hop. First, it was like, keep it real, keep it real. You should be rapping
Right.
what you about. Now we have little niggas really rapping what we about. Oh man, they taking it too far. It's like, dog, that's so hypocritical. I thought hip hop was about keeping it real. Now people are really keeping it real, doing things that rapping about things they
True.
really do.
That's true.
And yeah,
That's true.
we shouldn't congratulate the negative that come out of it, but that's hypocritical in its
That's
own
true.
fault because that's everything of what we say hip hop was representing is keeping it real. Now we have real
I
people
think
keeping it real
I
because
think
they got that from
that's true.
where do you think these young heads got that from? Where do you think what these young niggas got
Right.
that from?
I
From
think an
the
agent.
people from
I think
before
an
talking about
agent.
keeping it real, seeing what the hip hop beef styles happening, niggas fight. Let's not act like hip hop was clean before this generation. Like there wasn't
No,
shootouts at Hot 97. Like
automatic.
there was niggas not calling
Right.
in and arguing with each other over Hot 97
Right.
lines. And let's not act like that
Right.
it was all super clean, bro. Niggas was really brawling,
Right.
stabbing each other, shooting each
I
other over
think
stuff. Niggas lost their lives about this
right.
stuff. And we want to act like what's going on now is so egregious. Yes, it's
Right.
more of it. It's spilling out to a way that we don't
I
want
think
that to be. But it's so
right.
hypocritical to criticize a generation for something that we once upheld and celebrated. We
No,
celebrated
I'm not
Nah, I
Emcee's
don't think. I
criticizing it.
don't think.
I'm not
touchdown.
criticizing.
Hey,
We
listen,
celebrate. We
hey,
were
I
supposed
Leroy.
to.
think
Before you go,
We
Leroy.
love
Before you go, and
Christian
I want to
hip
get,
hop.
I want to
right,
get Super's perspective on this as well. I'm not. I don't think anybody. I don't, and I can speak for myself of being of that generation. I don't think anybody celebrated, rappers getting on wax, talking about pissing on somebody's mother's grave or naming all their ops that they smoke. You know what I'm saying? They smoking on this pack. I never heard that. You know what I'm saying? This is new to me. Now maybe there was some elements, maybe like some Brother Lynch Hung and some horrorcore rappers that were talking wild,
It
but
may
right.
not been to
I see
it
what you
may not
mean.
but
He
extent
I
said
know. I
of
see
Brother
what
the
you're
Lynch.
saying.
content of people saying that, but we've had niggas that threatened each other, that said what they was gonna do to each other,
Right,
did things, and
right,
then went on wax and talked about it. Let's not act like this generation is the
right.
first to to
Let me.
represent violence and
no,
really
Right.
I'm
No.
not
Yeah. Yeah.
saying
Yeah.
speak
that, but I'm saying this is
outside
the
of hip
first
hop and
generation that
violence.
took
We
it to
can't do
this
that.
level, though. This is the first
What?
generation
What if?
that took it to this
What?
level. I
Yeah.
will say that. I will give them credit for
I
that.
mean, what if somebody from outside the culture created Keep It Real? Like what if somebody who was never in hip hop culture came in and said Keep It Real, and that started a I don't think Keep It Real came from us. I think Keep It Real came from somebody who invested in like private prisons or something. Now that's
And,
me.
and
Maybe
for
maybe I'm tripping.
and for y'all respond,
Maybe I'm tripping.
before you respond, let me get to these super chats real quick. Jermaine Johnson says Yassine Bey was right. Mad Max with the super chat says battling didn't get toxic until Pac was being extra. Come on, being extra feminine. Come on, man. Nah,
I'm
come
leaving
on,
that
Mad Max.
alone. Y'all know I'm leaving
You
that
wilding on
alone.
that one, Mad Max. Remy Essex says we absolutely need to police the culture. Not policing is how fraudery became a demigoat. Black Wealth and Power
Yeah.
says the way we make excuses on our hands off about the degeneracy we see in hip hop is crazy. We owe the elders and the
I mean,
black youth more.
Hip hop is degeneracy. The 90s, we had
that's
80s rappers talking about the problems of the
I
night
hear
of
you.
these rappers, the young rappers of the 90s. They
Yes,
talked about people like Jay-Z.
yes,
They talked about how that
that's
hurt.
true.
Then the next generation, like, come on, bro, we're doing what the older generation was doing to
That's true.
us and like to you guys' era and stuff like
That's
that,
true.
bro. Hip hop has been rebellious. It has been about degeneracy. This stuff sounds
That's true.
crazy to me, dog. Just to like, I agree. I do not agree with the violence outside of hip hop. I don't support it, but we
I,
are just as much to blame for promoting it beforehand. These young cats seeing that, looking up to it, and seeing we want to take it farther than them. We really gonna be
but
about
like
what we say. About say, keep it real, dog. Who that's who to
before you
blame,
go,
bro.
Super. Before you go, Super. Hold on. And good to see you this time, Super. But
What's
before you
happening?
go,
What's
right?
happening?
Like my my father was a gangster, right? So do I follow in that tradition, or do I change it after I see what that brings, right? So if the last generation of rap saw a certain thing, do they follow, or do they change the trajectory? You know what I mean? That's all. You know what I mean? Because like in back in the day too, like you would see the gangsters and they're intimidating, right? You see 20, 30 dudes that's looking tough. You like, hold on, that's intimidating, right? But then you may see like a motorcycle club, black motorcycle club. That's intimidating too, right? Now you see the NOI pull up. They all dressed in suits and they militant. But there's different ways to get off the same message. But people wasn't running from the NOI. People wasn't running from the motorcycle club because they was just as tough. But they put off an energy that okay, I learned and I'm gonna move different. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's just a different level of responsibility that the rappers nowadays they just don't show the same level of responsibilities that I think guys like Nas, Jay, even Ice Cube and NWA, or whichever guys we want to point out that was the violent ones back in the day. Um, they still had a level of responsibility that these rappers just don't have with the music, and so like the messaging is not the same, and like the reasoning is not the same. You know what I'm saying? So I think like the younger rappers just they more careless and reckless with their message, and there's nothing really to learn from it other than violence. You know what I'm saying? I think guys before, when they spoke on the violence in the hood, it was still a message and something to learn from it. It wasn't just violence to be violent. It wasn't just revenge rap. It wasn't just gang culture rap. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a difference, but I think both of y'all are making good points on it.
But to combat what you're saying, it was there. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have camera phones. We didn't have everything to record everything that went down there. Those artists you named were in violent situations. That's documented.
Yeah,
That stuff was going
No,
on, bro.
I'm
yeah.
agreeing
And
with you, like,
we
but I'm
and
saying
we're
like
talking about
musically though. Musically, do you think that they were just like reckless with the music? Do you think
yes, yes.
Nas and Jay was just reckless with their messaging?
There was at times reckless messaging. We act like Jay didn't make Super Ugly. We act like ether didn't exist. Now it
Well, I
did.
mean,
Granted, some of these things turn violent, and some of these things for these with these young rappers turn violent. But let's not act like we have to think about the times of what era was in. What they were saying at that
Right,
time was how we look at what these young dudes are saying. That's why the shock value was there. You know what I'm saying? Like what they were saying was bad to those times. Let's not act like
right.
the Lots didn't get on Hot 97 and said it was gonna drop a refrigerator on Diddy. Let's not act like
But no,
Jim
but
Jones and say he was gonna slap the
but
kufi off
but
Nas's head.
Savon, but
Let's
Savon,
not
I think.
like come on, bro.
But
Like
I think we're talking about two different things, and I think we can't. I don't think they're largely not similar, right? Saying you're gonna drop a refrigerator on somebody is not the same as putting a whole mixtape out. Talking about you're gonna kill everybody on your block, and you actually kill these
what
people
I'm
on your block.
saying
That's
is
totally
what
different.
I'm saying is what may
Right,
have been extreme from one era is may not be extreme for that one for the next. For our era,
right,
this stuff that we're saying is taking it the next step from what was once there. For what was extreme back then was the things that were done back then. I think there was a lot of things that we looked at and we mirrored and we wanted to be like them. We wanted to be
right.
like that. And we thinking
but
about how can we take it further than what they took it. We look
I,
these. You think these young artists didn't go and look at these beefs that happen or whatever or their favorite rappers? You ask some of these favorite
Yeah,
these little rappers who their favorite rappers are and who they looked up to, and that paints the picture of
right.
what they were, the vibes they were going off of, and why they want to take it to the next level, bro. That's
But
what
I
I'm saying.
think I think the beef, like, you pointing out the beefs right now. That's like that. Nas and Jay, they overall message is not super ugly and ether. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so
But
I'm
we're
saying like
talking beef. We were talking beefs.
I'm saying for the overall. Oh yeah, well, I thought, okay, so then my bad. I might have jumped in then at the wrong thing. I thought we were just talking about the difference in the violence in the music
I
versus
mean, two
the
things could be right. You know
yeah.
what I mean? Two
Yeah.
things could be right at the same time. You know what I'm
But
But the
saying? Like,
violence was
and
the
when it
music.
come down to the Kendrick Lamar thing too, just let me squeeze this in real quick. I don't think that the accusations that Kendrick leveled at Drake wouldn't have held no weight, and it wouldn't be nothing to talk about if it wasn't something to talk about, really. Like, I mean, if it wasn't like you brought up earlier, Siobhan, like, there's little videos out there, there's little activities, there's things that made what Kendrick said and brought up. It made it stick because if it felt like it was valid in a way, whether it's 100% true or not, and whether
right,
Drake can feel defamed. I don't think Drake can win a lawsuit based on it. If you really listen to the words, I mean, he pretty much was just saying, pointing out a lot of weird activity. He said Drake like him young. He never said that he really did anything. Like, he never said that he
that's
committed a crime. He never said he committed a crime in the song. I mean, he brought up the other guy's actual case. I mean, you can look that up. You know what I mean? So the defamation case is, I think it's going nowhere. I don't think it's like it's going to hold any weight because
right.
I don't think I don't think Kendrick really leveled anything on him like that.
Let me get to these
You
super
know, we
chats real
all we
quick.
all insinuated because it made sense.
Let me get these super chats real quick. Hip hop is the five elements. This is from Remy Essex. Not keeping it real. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, Leroy, corporations didn't create anything. They pushed what they already saw and they just put money behind it. The streets pushed. Keep it real. All right,
I mean,
I'm gonna give you a chance to respond. I'm gonna get to the last two
yeah,
super chats.
yeah,
Mad Max with the super chat says, laughing my ass off. Y'all blame my generation. So you blame my generation for the stuff y'all did before Pac and the West in general brought that gang element, and
yeah.
y'all praised Pac for it and never challenged his actions. Mad Max with another super chat says, uh, fruit is the preservation of is a representation of the tree. You coddle Pac, Biggie, etc., praise them like gods. What do you think the young kids gonna emulate? Telling them Pac was the
And
greatest for Death Row
that's
era.
cool.
But that's what even with
That's
that
cool.
saying though, Max. I mean, if you know Tupac, then you know that's a small part of Tupac's catalog and greatness. I mean,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
he got this. That's you can't say that that's what Tupac is. I know that's where he's famous for and what a lot of I guess novice people know him for. But if you really know what you're talking about, you know that ain't really what Tupac was really all about.
When I think of
Right.
Yeah,
Tupac,
but
I don't
So
think about that when I think of
keep
Tupac.
keeping
That's
it
not the first
real.
thing. That's not the
yeah,
first thought that comes to my mind. But Leroy, somebody directly wrote to you in the super chat. You want to respond?
I was just saying that keeping it real means a choice because a choice is real. So I could either do this or I could do that. But the keep it real, it implies that I should go left. That's what keep it real really means. It means like, okay, I'm gonna make a choice to not jump out there. But keeping it real means I gotta jump out there because that would mean I'm keeping it real. Does that
what
make
we're
sense?
what
You know
I'm
what I'm saying?
saying, hip hop
And if you've
before this
learned, because
generation.
our generation left with like no money. They built up a multi-billion dollar culture and empire and left with no money. So do we follow that blueprint again? Now, I'm not saying everybody left with no money. Of course, we got Birdman, we got Jay-Z, we got Diddy, we got Dr. Dre. We got our legends, but I'm just saying 99% of those big, massive legends, they left with no money for keeping it real.
Let
They
let me
kept
let
it
me.
real.
I have a few points there. There's a few points there I want to make. When we're discussing hip
Okay.
hop and keep it real, there was a ongoing effort for us to find that rapper that keeps it real. That rapper that kept it the most real is the rappers we congratulated. Like when think about the things that we loved about people is we wanted them to be about what they're talking about. There was an effort of
No,
this. There was an effort of this. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't have ended up with a 50 Cent. We wouldn't have ended up with a Shine. We wouldn't have ended up with at the point Ja Rule before he went to a certain DMX. They wanted it because they were street, they were hood, they were the ones that they thought connected with the young culture. They thought being hood was synonymous with what's going on in young culture. We cannot act like that did not agree, that did not exist. Keeping
I
it
think
real,
that's
we wanted the rappers to be about what they're talking about. I think the only difference now is we're starting to
no, we
see
can't.
a lot of rappers that was in that era wasn't really about what they're talking about. We seen that when you turn the lights out and that limelight dims, that
Right.
those were characters and this was entertainment. That's the only difference from now. These kids are, and now we could live to see those rappers talk about that now. These young rappers, we're judging them off where they're at now as young heads. If we judge all of our favorites from where they were at that age and whatever and didn't see them grow,
We
that's
we
different.
agree.
Like,
We agreeing
let's give them
with you.
time to grow for the ones that make it out. Because
I
all the
don't.
ones
I
that
don't agree.
they were young
I
and
don't.
reckless
I don't
until
agree
they
either.
did.
Okay,
I
okay.
don't agree.
My fault.
I don't think that you know during my era of listening to rap and you know I mean my still now I never really cared if the rapper was telling the truth like as far as like what he was saying as long as it was relatable. If it was relatable, the song was good. That's all that mattered to me. I never really cared if Jay-Z was really actually a kingpin. It could have been all just rap music for me. It wasn't. I never cared about that. I never cared if DMX was actually a hitman dog whisperer that you know like that you know what I mean like it didn't really matter to me. The
Right.
song the songs was just good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like I don't think that
I
became a
mean,
thing really. I think that honestly the keeping it real and living your rhymes you know, and I'm not trying to go come hard on Jay, but I think that's more of a Jay-Z thing. I think that's more of after
yeah, yeah,
Jay-Z kind of took over the era of rap that people started
yeah.
wanting they rappers to kind of keep it real and be living that type of life or living their rhymes or whatever
We
or
can't blame
spitting.
Jay for totally that. That was literally the theme of hip hop.
Who else
One of
though?
this
Who else
the
was really
theme
even
of hip hop.
who else had that type of standard though? Because like I don't think even
I
Tupac.
mean,
I mean Tupac really
This was the
wasn't
hip
like
hop. We can't
I
point
mean, I
out
think
individuals
everybody
do
though.
that. This is a hip hop thing. Keeping it
Yeah,
real is what the streets want. That's what the people wanted, bro.
because
If I say, all right, if we didn't care about keeping it real,
Master
a
P
lot
was
of things that
outside.
got exposed about rappers,
Master P
the
was outside.
exposed the things that people are being exposed for wouldn't be a big deal, right? We don't care about
I
people being real. So that if that's the case, Vanilla Ice should still be popping.
No, I think that
We don't care about what's real
keeping
or
it
not,
real
right?
would really just have more to do with the relatableness of the music. Was like keeping it real, like you wasn't selling out to like the mainstream, or you wasn't just making songs to be making songs. You were still trying to stick within the culture. You was keeping it real to the culture. It didn't have nothing to do with
Yeah.
being tough or if you really bust your gun or if you really was a drug kingpin. It didn't never had nothing to do with that.
Let me
Keeping
get
it
to the
real
super.
just had something to do with the actual core of the culture.
Let me get to the super chats real quick. DJ Bruce Almighty says these young rappers don't know hip hop culture. Their beats come straight from the streets. It's different. DJ Bruce Almighty
Yeah.
says it wasn't Pac, it was NWA. Mad Max with the super chat
I
says
mean,
doesn't matter. It's a small part of him. That's the part y'all praise. No, Mad Max, we didn't praise that part. You weren't there, so you wouldn't know. The part you praised was
I think
fathers
it
of the
was
next.
the
Hold on, let me finish.
culture.
Of the next
Yeah.
gen, all the old heads failed, of course. Kids gonna take it too far, but that's what happens. And Mad Max with the super chat says, it's like Steph. I can't read the super chat. It's too small. Hold on. It's like Steph with hooping, kids being extra with the shooting because they trying to be like him. Even though Steph does more than just shoot, that's what the kids get praise. Same with Pac and Naval from it. Okay, let me just say something real quick. And I got another super chat just came in from Remy Essex. Hip hop is represented more than the street, is represented by more than the streets. The culture is real, man. They keep on coming. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Mad Max
agree.
says
Yeah.
I
Easy
mean,
E, Dre, Pac started that period. Now the only thing I see what Sharon is saying a little bit, and I see what he's trying to take the argument. My argument is that people, now you said something, Sharon, about these artists, they're young and they live in the sea. But a lot of these drill artists ain't live in the sea. There's something totally
They're
different. You know what I'm
not
saying? Like Little JoJo, King Von, FBG Duck. They talking
right.
about people they actually killed in their raps. I don't
real
know.
stuff. Yes.
Maybe I wasn't, I didn't hear it, but the music I came up listening to, I didn't hear that. It wasn't as prevalent, prevalent. People in this drill scene are actually getting killed. You know what I'm saying? And they're not
But
living to see. They're
there
not
is
living to be OGs and tell their
yeah.
stories about how they survived, got these situations. It's a little bit
The,
different.
the
It's,
yeah.
it's a little different.
The context for me, and sorry to cut you, but the context for me is keeping it real, right? Um, it works more toward the negative because everything is real. Like if you think about it, everything is real. There is no like, there's nothing that's fake. It's all real. But why it comes in to be fake? Like if I go in the lab and I make a dance song back in the day, like everybody dance, they would say I'm not keeping it real. But dancing is real. Do you feel what I'm saying? So that's why I think it worked against the culture because it had a connotation to where real was keeping it street, but also real is love. Also real is having fun. Those are also real. Shout out to my OG E40. He's real. He always been
I
real, but
I
he was
think
real in business. But E40 is E40. Shout out to his brother. E40 is a real dude, but he never tried to push a line like more than that. You know what I mean?
so. I got a question for you guys. Do you think these characters that put on this persona of being something they wasn't, do you think they were more toxic to the generation underneath them than these young dudes that's not living to see the time of day because the violence that stand behind that?
I mean, it depends on who you're talking about and like what you mean by what you're saying. Because like,
So when I say that, if I listen, there are people that took what these rappers say as a Bible, bro. Me, I was better than that. I knew there were certain things that I knew not to do, and I took the decisions to live my life the way I live. There are certain kids that looked up to this stuff and went and did what these rappers said to do. And now these rappers are old enough to now say, oh, it's only entertainment. No, people lost their lives off your influence. People became addicts because of your influence. People went and did stupid shit because of your influence. And
What we
now you can give
saying?
interviews and podcasts and you could say, man, I was just playing on that. I didn't really sip all that lean. I didn't really do all these drugs. I didn't shoot nobody. But there were kids that was really going out here and crashing out, being what this older generation has said. That,
but
like
that's
That's
what that's
that's
what
what
we're
I'm
I feel
saying
like
saying.
about
that's
the
10
response.
times
That's
more. I feel like that's 10 times more toxic that you were perpetrating and you led a whole generation of that stuff than it is of the people that's really doing it and seeing the consequences from that. I think you could learn by seeing the consequences to people's actions than you can before crashing out on the behalf of some bullshit that was fed to us that was fictional.
I
We
wished.
think
I
about
hope
it.
they do
Wayne,
learn. I
Wayne,
hope
we
they
love to
learn.
credit Wayne for how many babies he's have out here, but we don't credit Wayne for how many addicts he created.
But
We
people don't want to
love
go
Future
there.
music,
People
but
don't
we
want to
don't
go
talk about
there.
what Future's music is doing
People
for the
don't
youth,
want to
for
go
what he's
there.
talking about.
I
These
mean,
are things, bro.
that goes back to my point about just the responsibility of what they actually saying, and that's kind of the difference in the generation. Like, I don't think that we can look at Tupac and say that anything Tupac has ever said in a record was in a real life effective manner has been more effective than what you just said about Lil Wayne, as far as like the
Well,
generation of
here's my
drug
point
heads and
is,
people.
I don't want to interrupt you, but this is fresh in my mind. Respect to you, brother. But this is in my mind right now. We can't talk about how bad this generation is when they was poisoned from the generation above them.
I
They
agree
that
with you.
poison.
But
They
but
planted
but,
that.
but
That
my
was their
point
poison.
my point is this: if we don't talk to this younger generation that's making this reality music that's keeping it real in the streets, that's killing each other, then we won't have a generation to speak to afterwards. So it's going to be incumbent.
You think a lot of these younger rappers at these age were able to be talked to?
I'm
Think about.
agreeing with you.
I'm talking about me. I was wild, bro. I was wild. I was also smart, but I listened. Do you think your average 16, 15, 14-year-old wants to hear the positive and what you're talking about all the time? No. I taught before, bro. There's no secret to that. I was a
Some
teacher
of them
before.
do.
You
Some
know,
of them
trying to
do.
talk to the youth is not as easy as it sounds because
Right.
you have to live
Right.
that and lead by example. You can't tell me to stop
Right.
smoking while you're smoking a cigarette right in front of me. Don't ever smoke. Yeah, don't
No,
ever
a lot of
smoke though.
these
Don't be
kids,
like me. The fuck?
a lot of these kids are super smart
Gotta
though.
lead by example.
A lot of these kids are super smart though. They like they're I go in the studio and I'm around young people, teenagers, 20-year-olds. They're kicking their bars. Yeah, my strap, do this. I pull out the Illmatic and just do all this, right? And I'm like, bro, what you talking about? You're not even living like that. And they're like, it's strategic. In their mind, they're like, it's business. See, if I can make this get over, then I could get to the money. So they looking at it too as not just being crazy. They looking at it, oh, this is a play. You feel me? So it's like,
Like
and
the
I'm
older,
like, okay, I'm like, bro,
like the
if
older
you're in
generation,
another
we
man's
pimped our
city,
culture out.
you putting yourself in danger. They like, well, I'll deal with it when I get there. So it's like we gotta,
Yeah, but I
come on.
think from beforehand that's even worse, bro. We have an older generation that pimped out our culture and poisoned the younger generation, and then now we want to look back and complain on the result of that. This is
Yes,
all a result of what was before.
yes.
That's
Both
why
things
it's
can be right.
hypocritical. It's hypocritical as
Yes.
shit.
If I fall off a cliff and I work my way back up the hill and I say, hey, youngin, don't go off that cliff because I've just fell off that mug and my ribs hurt, my back hurt, and he still go fall off the cliff. I'm like, bro, I told you don't go off the cliff.
And the difference, and like I said, a lot of the basis of what Siobhan is saying, I agree with, but then I have to disagree with it because I don't think what we're seeing today in this music this generation is making is an exact replica of what we saw before. There's remnants of it.
I agree.
There's remnants of it. There's
Right.
residuals of it, but this is something new. This is an enhanced version of what was done before. This is something entirely new and has different consequences. So what to say this is the same thing that happened generations previous, because in the generation you had Brand Nubian, you had De La Soul, you had Diggable Planets, you had Tribe Called Quest, you had Outkast, you had Goody Mob. Nowadays, what kids are producing music like that? The majority of these kids today is producing death music. And that's not in that generation before them didn't produce death music. That's not the Pac wasn't. When you say Pac, I think when Mad Max, Mad Max is my guy. That's a lazy argument. Pac, if you think of Pac as only a person that just elocuted violence and gangbang, you don't know who Pac was. Pac wasn't like that. Pac
Right.
didn't birth this generation of MCs, these drill rappers that's talking about killing their ops on the record and pissing on parents' graves. Pac didn't birth that. Big didn't birth that. That's not a true argument. Who birthed this?
Man,
Who birthed this? And name me an MC in our generation that had every song on their record was about killing actual people that they actually killed. Name me that person. I'll say you right.
may not to that extent, but we have a whole list of rappers of this generation that we love now, and they went on and turned the tide of who we once known them in rap to a whole nother person. They got older, they got to see that. But what they represented then was just as bad
Right.
for us. Think about it, bro. We was just talking about Doggy Style. I had no business listening to Doggy Style at the age I did. I had no
Right.
business listening
But then
to Chronic at the
also
age I did. I had
when
no
you listen,
business listening to a lot of this stuff. That
right.
stuff was just as toxic to make us go crash out in that era as this music is now.
When you listen to
No,
Doggy
man.
Style,
Come on,
Yes,
man.
it
How you
is,
gonna
hip
bro.
say
hop was
Yes, it
that?
is.
hip hop
Yes,
was
it is.
8
You want to
years
know
old.
why? You
No,
want to
Hip
know
man.
hop
You
why?
was
can't.
8 years old when Doggy
You know
Style
why?
came out.
Man, doggy style ain't make you want to do is smoke some weed and go get some pussy. That's all doggy style made you
Bro,
want to do,
but it
man.
also
That's
taught us.
all.
It also taught us to disrespect women too, bro. Think about we talk
No,
Right.
about
I'm
hip
not
hop and
even gonna put it
misogyny.
on
There's
doggy
a lot
style
of
like
things that
that.
we thought was okay from what we seen in music. What we want to be that. We seen
Right.
that. What we seen on those music videos and on TV, that's what we want to be, bro. Let's not act like all those representations was fun and good times, nigga. No.
But real,
We
real
can
quick though, real quick.
some of that stuff is
Yep.
toxic,
Real quick.
bro. That's something that a young
Yes.
generation was influenced by, and they could go out there and do
Yes.
the wrong thing. And the way that things are viewed
Yes.
then is way worse now. If we like,
Yes.
let's look at the music videos, and we talking about the video girls and the things that were done in these music videos and things like that, and you operate like that in real society and see what happens to you.
Of course, of course. But hip hop now is 50 years old. When Doggy Style came out, hip hop was 8 years old. So now we were eight. In 93, hip hop was 8 years old. Now we're 50 years old. So what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Now maybe I'm not the right messenger for this message. You know what I mean? Shout out, but hip
I
hop was
think
eight
I
years
think
old
y'all
when Doggy.
over y'all kind of y'all going a little overboard, but I get what y'all really saying. You know what I mean? I understand how y'all saying like how the music always influences his generation, but I mean I can't say it's this extreme, man. Like I don't think no rap era has ever been this extreme. I mean I don't think Jay-Z is the reason why people were selling crack back in the day. You know what I mean? Like I can't make it, I don't know, but I get what you're saying. How the music
We could say it can
influences.
influence somebody to want to go out there and get money.
I
We
can
can't
say
say
it
that these young
influence,
niggas
but
listen to
I don't.
Jeezy didn't want to go out there and go get money the same way.
Yeah, but like I said though, he also within the music gave you reasons why you shouldn't do it too. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
And that's
we
that's
not
that's that's
listening to
what
that. That was
that's
the
the balance
problem.
that's the
When
difference there's no balance
That's
with
the
it really
balance.
with it like that.
yeah, but there was always there was that, and I'm with
Yeah.
you. That's one thing I do give Jeezy. He gave some of that, but a lot of things
Yeah,
that was behind Jeezy more
You
so
said
seemed
G.
like glorification. It more so seemed like
Right.
glorification. They're not looking to take in that knowledge. They're looking at, oh man, he got these chains, he got the cars, he got the women, and we talking about what did we listen to what he talking about he did to get there. We if these
I
things
hear you, but
that was of
Siobhan, we hear
influence,
you.
it was put in our face. They wanted that, bro. Like I'm saying, I
We hear
I
you.
was good enough to know better, but there's a whole generation of people that wanted to
Okay, so
be
you
that.
knew better.
Let's not act like
You
we
knew
didn't
better.
see your neighborhood drug dealer driving that nice Beamer down the road when we didn't want what he had. We didn't see him with the bad women. We didn't want those bad women. We see those jewels. We see those rings. We see that jewelry. The things that we did. I think we're knocking how influential hip hop is. But I can
But
go.
but
We
but
can
but
go outside of hip hop
Siobhan,
because hip hop is not supposed to raise our
Siobhan,
kids. It's not.
these
But let's
dudes,
not act
these
like
come on,
that
man.
was not influence, bro.
When and real quick, one point, just real quick about Jay. When Reasonable Doubt came out, that was the first time I heard a hustler talk about being scared. Like I'm scared I might get killed. I never heard that from a hustler before on record. Now, as far as the overall, again though, we're now in the third generation of hip hop. At what point do we kind of see, okay, there's some money we could get out of this too? So we may want to like go for that. But then do we also see that, it's wins and losses in this at what point do we learn? At some point, you gotta say, okay, I'm gonna make a choice. Because keeping it real is a choice. They gotta make a choice. I can either go left, I could go right. And I just hope they I hope we get a different choices moving forward. That's what I'm saying. It's not all one option. And what I'm seeing a lot is just one people like I'm going this way, and it's like, bro, it's like it's another way. I'm telling you, just on a business grounds, right? If you're about getting money, a promoter is going to be more willing to book you if they're not afraid of you. A crowd is going to be more likely to show up if they feel safe. A wider range is going to show up if they feel comfortable. So it just is a matter of business. You know what I'm saying? And then also to protect yourself. As a rapper, you move around from city to city. So that could be a little dicey. You know, if you're gonna be the hardest guy out there and you going from city to city, hey man, good luck. Good luck out there,
But what
man.
I'm
You know what
saying now, like when we look at some of those rappers now, they could talk about that as a business and want to give the game back how they got it. But the young them wasn't doing that, bro. Plies now is not Plies or what he was representing back then. You know what I'm saying? Jay now wasn't the Jay of then. Like these were people that some people idolized, dog. Some people was influenced by the stuff that they're talking about now, man. And we have to be honest here and say that hip hop culture wasn't always Run DMC and Curtis Blow and all that. There's a evil side. There's a bad side to hip hop, bro. And whether we like
right.
to say it or not, the things that we love now were the same things that was toxic to a whole generation and influence and poison a generation as well. We have to be honest. Even
And
the
that's a
rappers that we know and love right now, they were responsible for poisoning a generation.
and that's a perfect segue to this next segment that we're going to bring you. And Leroy and Sharon, I want you guys to sit for this segment real quick. Cause Super hit me last week with a great idea. He said, "Yo, man, we should come out with a top 20 group list, right?" So this is gonna be going to examine the history of hip hop tonight. The top 20 hip hop groups of all time. This is Super's idea.
Right.
Super, you want to explain the rules and how we came up with the list and how you came up with the idea?
Yeah. So this is for everybody that get outraged, man. This is the disclaimer. All right. It's one album per group. So, it could be so easy. I mean, you can fill up a list of 20 best albums, greatest albums, and there's lists out there that's probably been already done where you can put 3 Wu-Tang albums, 4 Outkast albums, you know what I mean, 3 Mobb Deep albums, and you got your 20 right there. And when we do that, a lot of the other artists don't get a lot of shine, and especially lesser known but great classics that might be regional or not as known maybe in New York or in Cali, but in the Midwest, it's a classic here. So it sometimes a lot of these albums get lost in the sauce and they don't get enough shine. But like that's it though. The criteria is one album per group. That's really it. One album per group.
No doubt. So how's it going to go? I'm going to read these super chats real quick and how it's going to go. Super's going to give his list first. And Servan and Leroy, you can chime in with your thoughts, and then I'm going to give my list last. But Mad Max with the super chat says, Easy E, Dre, Pac started that period. Disagree, Mad Max. We'll have you calling in a bit, or maybe next show. Bruce Almighty says, this generation is not influenced by yesterday's music. They're really outside. Most of the drill rappers were in the streets before rap. Good point.
A lot of rappers were in the streets before rap. Hip hop saved them.
Everybody is in the streets. When you go to the grocery store, you're in the street. So everybody's in the street.
Well, I ain't really in the streets. My grocery store is right around the corner from my crib. I wouldn't classify that as a street. You know what I'm saying? That's like in the suburb. That's in the suburbs. I mean, but anyway, man, Super Duper, what's your list, bro? Let's hit with your list. Start off with your 20.
I'm gonna start at 20.
Start at 20.
I'm gonna work my way up. So at number 20, I got the West Side Connection, man. It was hard for me to put this album on the list totally because I do have before I even get started, I want to ask the chat and just see if we can get I just want to get the chat's opinion on this. I know me and you we lightly spoke on it and touched on it, but I want to get the chat's opinion on this. Is Tupac and the Outlaws album considered a group album? What do y'all think? Would it fit this criteria? Would you put that in the group album?
Yeah.
All of
them. Yeah.
You say yes?
Yeah.
Leroy?
Yeah, because that was the mission of what they want to do. They want to have them as a group.
You can make that work. You can make that work. Yeah, man. If you want.
I know a lot of people tend to frown on it because Tupac wasn't I guess here when the album was finished, but you can really hear that album that Tupac really was working on that album with them. You could tell it wasn't just thrown together, or it wasn't like some fake AI Tupac or some verses of Tupac that was out there. You could tell that they really worked on this album together, but they may have had to finish it with Tupac not being there. But if everybody agree, then honestly, that would be my 20 over West Side Connection. Bow down. That would be 20 for me. At 19, I got the Clips and Laura Willing. One of the most, like, when you go for a group album and you know when you listen to the album, you can definitely hear and feel the change of the sound that was coming, that the Clips and the Neptunes put together. It's one of the most different sounding albums that ever came out, like especially from a group. Just the musically, the way that it sound and the way that Pusha is rapping and how they mix. I don't want to say corny because I don't like to use that word when I say it, but it's on, like, for me, a lot of the Neptunes or Pharrell's production, it almost teeters a little bit on the corny edge, but with the hard rhyme style and how Pusha T and Malice is rapping on there, it go together so perfect that, you know what I'm saying, it works together really well. So that's 19 for me. Number 18, I got EPMD, Strictly Business. This is a true classic.
Fire.
If you really know from the songs that's on the album, this is a true straight up hands down classic. It could honestly be higher on the list if we were making a different style of list. It could possibly be higher on the list. It only got 10 songs on it, came out in 1988. But the songs that's on it are just so classic. Like I'm saying, like 88. When you think about this, I mean, I was 7 years old in 88. So I'm telling my age right there. So I mean, it's not like I even really should have been understanding the album, but the album was so fire that it still carried on into my teenage years, where I was even able to catch up and understand a lot of the tracks on there. But you know, you got Strictly Business, I'm Housing, Let the Funk Flow, You Got to Chill, It's My Thing, You a Customer, them all classic tracks. You know what I'm saying? That you know, like this album is, like I said, it's put together well, no skips on the album at all. Number 17, I got Black Star with the Black Star album. This is another one of them albums that, you know, like I said, I love the album altogether. It may not be totally fire, like from front to back, totally from hands down like a classic, but it's definitely a classic from the songs that's on there. How they put them together and like the way that they collab together and the thought pattern of the album is just, it's a great performing album. Like every song blends in kind of together. The album is cohesive and it has a message throughout the whole album. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those great classic backpack era albums that people, you know, a lot of people love it, but it's still slept on when it comes down to group albums, I would say, in my opinion. Number 16, this is another one of these albums, and I might get some pushback depending on where you're from, but this is a Midwest classic, man. This is a straight up and down Midwest classic, and it depends on where you at. I know it's a down south classic too, but mine is number 16 is Do or Die Poe Pimpin'. I mean, Picture This, my bad.
That's
It's
fire.
another one of those albums that, you know, it could be a victim of the times because it came out in '96. Only got 11 tracks on it. I want to say maybe 2 or 3 skits on there, but the whole album you can listen to. You could still play this album right now to this day, 2024. And
Am I wrong if I say, like, we got different flows today, right? Like, we got the Migo flow, we got like certain different pockets. Right here with Do or Die is a different pocket that lended its way into the Migo era, in my opinion.
no,
You know,
that's true. That's true, Leroy. Because you know when you look at the way that they put this album together, it's a lot of harmonizing on the album. It's a lot of singing on the album. It's a lot of fast flow rap. Um,
right?
it's a great album, hands down, front to
Twister
back.
going
I mean,
Facts.
Alpha and Omega, Shut 'Em Down, Poe Pimp, Kill or Be Killed, Paper Chase, Player Like Me, 6 Million, Money Flow. I mean, 11 songs, man. This is a hands down classic, like
Was that
hands
Johnny P
down
on the
classic.
hooks?
Huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
I said,
Yep.
who was that? Johnny P on the hooks?
Johnny P on the hooks, and sometimes I want
Yeah.
to say it might have been one of the other guys, because it don't sound like it's Johnny P every time. It sounds like it's, sometimes it might be one of those other guys that's on there too. But they
It
do a
was.
lot of harmonizing on that album, and it's ahead of its time. And like you said, I definitely agree with you when you make that Migo tie
Yeah.
in. They definitely are
Yeah, it's other
one of
people
those.
that did that flow. It's just Amigos came to my mind first, but it's other people that started taking that pocket. You got what Crucial Conflict they had their little pocket. Then different people. The Brat swung her little pocket, but it's certain ways they flowing, like ending on words that have three syllables to flip into the pocket a certain way. And Do or Die, they was already there. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Now,
Yeah.
So I got. Go ahead.
now,
Go ahead,
now
man.
I'm saying we deep in your list right now, and I still ain't seen an album yet that was talking about killing, people on their block. But I digress. Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead, Sue. Go ahead, Sue.
Hey, at 15, this was hard again for me to decide between which album I actually wanted to put on because I love Things Fall Apart. So I got 15. I got Things Fall Apart from the Roots at 15. But I do
Fire.
like Philadelphia Half Life. My only knock on Philadelphia Half Life is that me and my homeboy, we go over this a lot, and he brought this to my attention, and ever since he said it, I kind of hear it when I listen to the album. He always bring up that he feels like the album is inspired. Philadelphia Half Life reminds him of the Infamous, or as if like the Roots were inspired by the Infamous to try to change up their sound, try to sound a little bit more gritty. But I love the album. But that's another story. I don't want to start an argument within the presentation, but you know what I'm saying. But I had to go if I had to pick one between the other. I had to go ahead and go with Things Fall Apart. It's definitely one of them classic albums. It's another one of those hip hop albums that's great on its own in its own lane of greatness. Like as far as the band presentation, um, Black Thought with the rhyme flow and how they mixed up
Right.
hardcore with a little bit of conscious, with a little bit of singing, with the actual live band presentation. There's the Roots they're definitely one of a kind hip
The
hop group that
the album cover. I
the
remember
album
when I
cover in
took
itself.
I took that album cover to the I was at Amoeba's. I bought the album. I put it on the table. There was there was a white lady standing behind me, so she was kind of looking over my shoulder. She seen the album cover and she looked at me. I looked at her. I'm like, yeah, this is real. That's a real picture. So I'm just saying, like, that's art for you. But
Yeah.
she was like, oh my god, you see the lady running because that's the album, the version I have. But go
It's one
ahead.
of those albums that definitely shows hip hop in its rarest, truest art forms. That this is truly music and this is a true genre, and like it's real true substance there. And I think how now we get a lot of these like Tiny Desk, and we get a lot of these Nas performing with the orchestras and Jay-Z with the live bands and stuff. And I think that's a lot of that is attributed to the Roots, showing that is actually possible, and it's tasteful with hip hop to be with live instrumentation. Okay,
No,
so at 14, this is another one that might cause some controversy, but if you really know, man, I mean, you really know. I got to go with Dipset, Diplomatic Community, man. This
fire.
album is fire, like front to back. It's the
Yes.
only hip hop double CD from a rap group that's going to make my list, even though I know it's a couple more out there. But this is definitely the best double CD hip hop um, album from a group. I
Yep.
mean, it's got 27 songs, 2003. It birthed a whole movement. The song, every song on there is fire. Like it's barely got a skip. It's barely got a skip. I mean, I shouldn't have to run it down to you because, like I said, if you know, you know. But every song on there, I mean, you can just let this, especially around this time of year, it sounds so good. The production, when Ground Zero come on, how that beat come on, like, and
That's
just the way it sounds is, you know what I mean? Like this is just one of those albums that I think is underrated, it's underappreciated, but it's definitely one of them. It's definitely a group classic. If we're not gonna put it in
yeah.
any other classic level, it's definitely a group classic.
Yeah.
Nah,
Facts.
I
I
got.
agree.
I may got an answer for the double CD though. You said a group with a double CD. I may got an answer for that. But go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, all right. Give me number 13. I got 8 Ball and MJG coming out hard. This is
Yeah.
another one of them albums that it's hard because if you're really a fan of 8 Ball and MJG, it's it's hard for me to just. I had to pick Coming Out Hard because it's just that one that I would say it has the most songs on it that are classic from them on one album. But all the rest of their albums are nice too. It's very debatable. But for me, I'm gonna go with Coming Out Hard because it's the one that's just held the most weight and it's stuck to me the longest out of their whole album, and it's their best complete work. So I'm going with Coming Out Hard, man. And that's one of them. That's one of them ones. I mean, I don't know
Yeah.
if New York, because we get into these debates, and a lot of people don't seem like they respect 8 Ball or MJG like they should. But this is one of those albums that if you from the Midwest,
MJG, bro.
if you from St. Louis, if you from Tennessee, if you from Houston, if you from the South, I mean, I don't know how Atlanta feel about 8 Ball and MJG, but
Now we love Ball and G
yeah,
down the South.
like this is one of those albums that it got play. Like somebody might say, well, where's De La Soul at? But where I'm from, we played Coming Out Hard more than any De La Soul album. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's on my list, man. I can't
Yeah.
make it up. Coming Out Hard. There's no excuses. It is what it is for that album. If you know, you
MJG
know.
crazy.
Yeah,
MJG is
for
crazy,
sure.
bro.
And for a while, I mean, people didn't even respect MJG so much. I
No.
mean, it was a lot of highlight on 8 Ball. People was looking at 8 Ball
Yes.
like he was the man, and that's how even and that's how great they are as a group. That what in one year it could be 8 Ball, the next year you listen to the album is MJG. You know what I'm
A
saying?
Ball was
But
more steady. A Ball had a more steady flow, more smooth. He was like a Jada Kiss. He's smooth. But
yes,
MJG going crazy. Like
yes,
MJG is 2 Chainz in the early 90s, okay? That's 2 Chainz.
yes.
So that's how he's flowing. Like
It, it,
it's that yeah.
it's another one of them albums, no skips on it. Really, no skips
Right.
on it. All right,
No,
so I got number 12. Man, I'm going with Dog Food. This album it's another one of them albums that's from like when you put it on, you just let it play. You don't push the button, you don't skip, you don't do nothing. You just let it play. The production is great. The song concepts are great. I don't like to dream about getting paid, respect, New York, New York, Psycho, like no, slipping, sliding, big pimping. I mean, this whole album, bomb ass. You know what? You know what I'm saying? So this album is slamming. It's got jams on it. It's got bops on it. It's got lyrics
right.
on it. It's definitely one of them albums that people forget to mention, man. But I'll never sleep on this album. Dog Pound album is definitely up there as far as classic albums that people should get up. Do your homework on it if you don't know, man. If you really don't know, do your homework on that album.
And the
Front to back
production.
classic.
Crazy.
You
Yes.
say what you say,
Yes.
Saron? You
I
said
said the production on the album was crazy too.
it was. Daz got down.
Corrupt, man. Corrupt losing his mind on there.
Yeah, Corrupt was losing his mind on that. Corrupt was one of the best damn near, I would say, around that time. He was up there lyrically, as far as I would say he was up there on the Inspector Deck level with his mic performances around that time. He was definitely very nice on the mic at that time.
No doubt.
All right, at 11, I got Goody Mob with Soul Food. It's another one of them albums. It's a one of a kind album.
Cell
From the
Theory on there.
start, when you put this on, it started off with CeeLo singing Free. You don't skip Free, even though it's not even no major bar work and rapping on there, but just the soul and the harmony of the album, of the song, you let Free play when you turn this album on.
Dirty
You let
South,
Thought Process ride. You let Dirty South ride. You let Cell Therapy ride. You
Soul
let
Food.
Sesame Street ride. You let Guess Who. You let Live at the NI. You let Soul Food. You let I didn't ask to come. You let this album play, and the concepts and the maturity of this album at that time is very mature and it's very soulful, like the album is called. I mean, so that you can't have soulful without having some soul in it. It's one it's a fire album. Like, I mean, if you don't know, do your homework on this album. It gets a lot of respect, but it don't get enough respect for how great it really is. Another one of these albums that don't get enough respect is my number 10 album. People like to forget or like to pretend like they wasn't bone crazy. But for me, it's Bone East 99, man. We can't front on this album. This album was fire. I don't know where all the Bone fans went. I don't know why they try to duck and hide and act like they wasn't, like Bone wasn't something that was really hot and popping out here. But this
Right.
album is a classic. 17 songs, came out in the golden era, 1995. I mean, just this, like, this is another one of them albums. When you put it on right now, it don't sound like it came out in 1995. This sounds like it could have came out in 2024. Like, the production is crisp, the beats are nice, and they rhyme flows and rhyme patterns and song structures on all of these songs, man. East 99, Eternal, Creeping on the Come Up, Mr. Bill Collector, The Crossroads, Me Killer, Land of the Heartless, First of the Month. Like, you can run down Mo Murder, No Shorts, No
Yeah.
Losses. You can run down this whole album, and it's not a skip on here. It's not a skip at all, whatsoever on the album. And it's one of those albums that like I said, for some reason, it's like people like, it's like a shame that people act like they weren't real straight up crazy Bone fans.
Because
Man,
they was, yeah,
people was real
it's the
Bone fans,
harmony.
man. I don't know why we try to pretend like they wasn't, like Bone wasn't a
It's the
real thing,
harmony.
man.
They
It
don't
was the
want to. They don't want
harmony.
to admit that the harmony.
It was
That's
this
what
different
they don't want to
style.
admit. They was in tune.
And it was regional. They was from Cleveland. It was the harmony. It was the style. It was a little bit. They were different. You know what I'm saying? They had a little some dark overtones in their music. So people was feeling Bone, but it was Bone was dope.
I mean, like I said, I mean, I love a lot of artists, man, but this, like, let's not get it twisted, man. This album, I mean, we got a lot of respect for Jadakiss and the Locks, man, but dude, that Locks ain't got no
Right.
East 99, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Nah,
so we got to give it to him, man. We got to give it to him. And like I said, you go back and listen to it, it still sounds fresh and good. And that was a lot of my list and criteria too, man. I still, like, it could have been a lot of things that was nostalgic that I could have probably put on here over things, but for me, it was like, if it still sound good and relevant right now in 2024. And for me, most of these albums on here still sound relevant. They still sound fresh. They don't have that dated feel to them when you listen to them. All right, at 9, I got Meth and Red with the Blackout. This is one of them albums too that I kind of had a hard time really. I had to ask Ron, like, do this really count as a group album? I mean, like, I
Yeah.
know it is a group album, but
group.
and my excuse was this: Ray and Ghost. Ray and Ghost, they albums, they all say featuring Ghostface Killer. They all say they all like they pretty much joint albums. They're not considered a group, and they are still considered solo projects. But are they really a group or what or what?
They
But
supposed to have an album this year. The Rain Ghost was supposed to come out. I don't know what happened, but they were supposed to
it
come out
felt
with an
like
album.
a little bit. It felt like cheating a little bit to put them on here to me, because I don't really look at them as a pure group. And neither do I really look at West Side Connection as a pure group either, but they are what they are. They are a group, so we can't really, like, change the criteria. And that was kind of one of
Right.
my problems with Tupac and Outlaws. Do we really look at them as a pure group, or is this,
Yeah.
it,
Hey, how
so
many people heard Blackout Part 2? That was fire.
yeah,
Man,
Blackout Part 2 was fire.
that was
Yeah.
fire. Yeah.
And I mean, this album was so good because it's Meth and Red really went hand in hand on this album. Like, you can't really say that Method Man outshined Red Man on this album, or Red Man outshined Method Man on this album. They both put in work. They took turns on having the best verse for me. Rather was depending on the song that you listen to. I mean, Method Man might have had the best verse on Serial Killer. Um, Red Man might have had the best verse on um, um,
Tear the
I
It was
can't
roof
think of
either.
it.
off.
It was either.
The Rockwaller, or you know what I'm saying. Whichever
Right.
song, pretty much whatever song you listen to. When you listen to the album, you got to make the judgments by, you know what I'm saying.
Try
But
that rock. Right.
it's definitely a fire album. Number 8 for me, I got Pete, Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold me back. This one of them albums. I mean, some people might look at it as blasphemy that I got it this low on the list. But this, like I said, this goes back to does it sound as good today as it did back then? And I think that this album is slightly a victim of that for me right now. So I love the album. The album is powerful. We can't never take away from the impact. But for a whole complete project, I can't say that the album is as great as it used to be. It's one of those albums that's a classic, but it's still, as time goes on, it's losing some of its prestige for me, just from the song structure and the songs and some of the way that the production sound. Man, it's a lot. It's a loud album. You end up with a little bit of headache, kind of. You have to after listening to a Public Enemy album straight up and and down. So it's not one of the albums that I frequently visit, but I definitely love the album. It's a special place in my heart, and like a lot of those songs on there are definitely they're too special to miss out on or to downplay. So it has to be on the list. But as time goes on, it is starting to lose a little bit of its luster for me. At 7, I got Tribe Called Quest, Midnight Marauders. This is another one of them albums that don't sound like no other album on here. It's a great album with great songs on it. That's it's pretty much ahead of its time. Like it's a special album. It's a special album. You got 14 songs, 1993. You don't skip nothing when you put it on. You can let it ride. It's one of them. You get on the highway, you turn it on. You don't. It's a lot of arguments on which song is the best song and all that when it comes down to this album. That's because it's great and it's put together well and the production is nice, and like I said, the album is ahead of its time. It's one of a kind. Number 6, I got the Fugees with The Score. I mean, what more can you say about this album? I mean, it won so many Grammys at the time when it came out. Another one of them albums came out in the golden era, 96, 15 tracks. It's really 11, but it's still fire. You got a little bit of everything on here. You get the show stealing performances from Lauryn Hill, which birthed her project. And this album, I mean, I know people love Lauryn Hill's album a lot, but I think this album is still better especially as far as a pure hip hop album than Lauryn's album is. And it's starting to lose a lot of respect. I know people act like they don't remember, but you go put this album on and you'll realize why it won so many Grammys and stuff at the time it won. It's definitely a classic. It's nice, like front to back, no skips at all, and very unique with some messaging in it too. Number 6, and this one might be another controversial one, but I got Outkast Aquemini. And some people might think that's too low on the list. It's another one of those albums that's original, but it's another one of those albums for me that as time goes on, is the greatness of it is starting to lose some of its effect on me. And I'm not reaching back to it as much as I used to, but it's definitely still a fire album. No skips on it, front to back classic. Outkast, what more can you say about them? Number 4, I got UGK, Riding Dirty. And y'all already know how hard I rep this album. So you already know this is one of them albums I don't play around with, man. This could be in the top 10 of greatest albums of all time if you really ask me. Honestly, this is a hip hop blues album. This is one of them albums that really put you in the mindset of a blues rap album. When you listen to the production, it's got so much soul and funk and heart to it. And these songs on here, the storytelling and like the heartfelt verses from Pimp C and Bun B and a lot of the other guys that was featured on here. This album is great. It could easily be top 10 all-time albums for me personally. But like I said, songs like One Day You Hear, Murder, Pinky Ring, Diamonds in Wood, 3 in the Morning, High Life, Good Stuff, Riding Dirty. I mean, Pimp C on the production of this, singing next to Ron Isley. It's one of them albums, like it's a hidden gem. Don't get enough respect. People need to start putting more respect on this album. Do your homework and listen to Riding Dirty. It's definitely up there. It could be higher on my list right now, but I'm going to leave it at 4. Number 3, I got The Infamous. What more can we say about The Infamous that ain't been said? I mean, this is one of them albums that everybody knows great. It's probably the most grimiest album of all time. Like, this is one of them albums that I feel what you're saying now, Siobhan and Leroy. This is one of them albums that influenced you in a bad way, depending on where you was at in your life. Because the messaging on here, it definitely puts you in a mood. And every song on here, I mean, you know, Mobb Deep, they were so grimy. It's like when I think about it now, man, it's like amazing how they made a lot of these songs work. You know what I'm saying? Like you got Survival of the Fittest, I For an Eye, Give Up the Goods, Temperatures Rising, Up North Trip, Trife Life. These albums is like grimy to the dirt, grimy, but it's like lovely at the same time. And it's music to my ears. You know what I'm saying? It's like a perfect album, a super perfect album.
All right.
He got
I
me
can't.
together my
We can't
list.
hear you, Leroy.
My bad, my bad. One of my good friends, I was about to agree with you. One of my good friends at the time, he was a kid. We was both kids, but he thought like an older person. So he was like a jazz head. Remember I asked Blue about jazz? I never really got into it. He was a jazz head. So he kept playing the Infamous, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, for some reason, the Infamous spoke to his jazz sensibilities. But you know what I mean? It's weird. You know what I mean?
And
Go ahead.
definitely at this time, I mean, with the production, Havoc was in his bag, and with the way Prodigy was rhyming, and like the song structure, and like the way that Prodigy made you feel these lyrics, and feel what he was saying. You know, it was so relatable too. At least with that angry mindset that you had.
Right.
You good, Ron?
Yeah, my boy saying he playing. I just
Oh,
downloaded Spider-Man 2 for him. Go ahead and play it. Go ahead and play it.
all right. Number two, man. This could easily be number one, but I got NWA Straight Outta Compton. I mean, like what more can you say about the album? It's 1988, 13 tracks. Um,
Yep.
it's definitely a super influential album. Songs that that got real meaning to them. People might look at it as glorifying, but it's still a straight up real message still within a lot of the ignorance in the album. It's definitely groundbreaking, game changing. And to be honest, man, I mean, NWA is the first Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, they had the super producer, so they got, Dre is they RZA. You got Cube is Method Man, and the list, the names go on and on. We already know, but they don't. That's one thing that people don't really think about a lot. But NWA is the first Wu-Tang Clan. And speaking
Yep.
of Wu-Tang Clan, I got to go with Into the Wu-Tang as my number one
Okay.
hip hop rap album of all time. Just because, and like I said, NWA could have easily been number one, but the reason why I had to go with Into the Wu-Tang because I go back to it the most. I listen to it a lot more often. The songs are more relevant to me right now today than the NWA songs are. Even though the NWA songs are great, I got to go with Into the Wu-Tang. It's my most influential and greatest hip hop group album of all time.
That's a dope list, Super.
Fire.
That's a dope list. I see you got the
Fire.
championship, and that's a great list. And I see you got the belt behind you. But your
Nah.
list is dope. And really, we largely got the same things on it. But I'm gonna go quickly through mine real quick. I'm just gonna touch on it real quick. So I gotta get to the stove because it closed at 11 o'clock, and I gotta get some things for tomorrow. So I'm running a little low on my bottle, so I gotta go through this real quick. But
Come on, man.
honorable mentions. I did have a couple honorable mentions. I want to say Enter the Stage. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Enter the Stage. Um, Shout out to shout out to them. Boot Camp Click. Um, I would say also, they really not a group, but it's honorable mention. Honorable mention. I would say the Throne. I mean, the
Yep.
Throne. Kanye and Jay. I mean, they
That's
had
cheating.
it had Murder to Excellence on it. It had Otis on it. No Church in the Wild on it. You know what I'm saying? It had
Go.
Gotta Have It. You know what I'm saying? Is that my they kind of were a group. They were called the Throne. So you know what I'm saying? So, honorable mention. So let me get to my top 20. The top 20. I'm gonna go real quick because I don't want to be too long. I
You had
got
22.
I had 22, but don't shoot me, Super Duper. To number 20, I had the Dog Pound, dog food. That was 20. That was 20.
What?
Had it at 20. It's on my list though. It's on my list. 19, I had Criminal Minded BDP.
That don't count either, man. Do that really
Which
count?
yeah, it was a group. You know what I'm saying?
They
It was a
wasn't no
group.
real group. Did they really?
Okay.
Who else?
Okay.
Who else rapped?
So you're gonna kill the rest of my list too.
No,
Because I
I'm
got
just saying. Who else really rapped with them? Was
well,
it?
ain't
Was it?
nobody
Was
really
it?
now you had
I
other
thought about that.
rappers. It was just KRS, but you know, it was a group. You know what I'm saying?
I had CL Smooth and Pete Rock on mine. I just made one.
Number 18. Y'all gonna kill me for this one. But you know, Super, as I was telling you, I thought about great groups and great albums. I got the Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. You got Get It Together with Q-Tip. You got Sabotage. You got Bobo on the Corner. You got Sure Shot. If you don't know the album, I mean, Paul's Boutique, you could have put on there, but I'm gonna give them boys their props. I know it's not cool, but I'm gonna give Beastie Boys their props on
Oh,
that.
they cool.
No, hey,
Beastie Boys
they made my honorable mentions list, but for me it was License to Ill.
I want to pause.
Exactly.
I'll be up there in a minute.
Now Beastie Boys was crazy.
Let me
That
go
was
through this real
crazy.
quick. 17, I'm gonna go Run DMC. You know, it could be Raising Hell or it could be their self-titled album. I don't know, but I know you're a Houdini fan. You're a Houdini fan, Super. So I know you ain't really with Run DMC. What
I
you
mean,
got?
listen, I just don't think that they got a great straight up and down whole album that's great. I know they got good songs, but I don't think that they got an album. I don't think that their album is better than Houdini Escapes. I mean, look, you got 5 Minutes of Funk, Freaks Come Out at Night, Big Mouth, Escape, Friends. I mean, they got them super duper classics, and it's on one album. And the album is only like 9 tracks or 8 tracks, and like the other songs that on there that aren't even that's not considered classics are just instrumentals and beats. So that's why the Houdini is held high to me. I mean, those songs on there are super great, man. Like for one album.
No, you're right. You're right. That's what I said. I know you was gonna push
Yeah.
back on that. Number 16, I got the Minstrel Stroll Little Brother. Fonte. You can't, you know what I'm saying? I had to put them on there.
Fonte.
I had to represent Carolina. That's where my people from. So I had to
We
represent.
got
I had
it.
to put Little Brother on there. I'm gonna go.
Fonte got to come on the show. Don't mean to cut you, but Fonte, you got to come on the show. That's one of the illest down south rappers of all time, and he never gets his name in that light. That's my opinion. Go ahead.
Super. I got you. I got you, Leroy. We're gonna get him on the show. Super. I was surprised you didn't have this group on your list. 3-6 Mafia, World Domination.
Hey, I thought about it, but I kind of like When the Smoke Clears a little better.
Okay. I had to put World Domination because they had Tear the Club up on it, had Hit 'em Up, you know what I'm saying? Had some bangers. That was when they was like they before they pop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
no,
that's
it's
what
definitely.
then you know, I got 14, I got 3 Feet High and Rising, De La Soul. 13, I got East 99. 12, see, we got the similar list. 12, EPMD, Strictly Business. 11, The Score, Fugees. 8 Ball, MJG, coming out hard at 10. Now, this one you didn't have. Number 9, Gangstar, Moment of Truth. Now, I know you
See,
ain't say they a
I
group.
only reason I didn't really consider like EPMD. I mean, not EPMD, but like guys like Pete Rock, CL Smooth, or like Eric B and Rakim. I didn't consider them groups like that. That didn't count to me as far as my list. So Gangstar, Guru and Primo didn't count for me as far as what my criteria as far as what I
I
was
cheated a little. I wanted to make my list different because my list would have been the same as yours if I wanted to make it
yeah.
different. So I cheated a little bit, everybody. I cheated a little bit. I wanted
That's
to
your
make it
cheating bag, man. You
because
cheating.
mainly we got the same albums. I just want to throw some different ones on there.
Yeah.
Moment of Truth is number 8. Number 9, Mobb Deep, the Infamous, number is 8. 7, Riding Dirty. 6, I got a different tribe album. I picked the Low End Theory. I went back and listened to Midnight Marauders and the Low End Theory. Midnight Marauders is a little bit more polished, but you got Check the Rhyme. You got
It's
the
low in
Reckon.
theory.
Low End Theory, you got Check the Rhyme. Low End Theory, you got what else? Low End Theory, you got it got the one that led us to the Abstract. Talking the one about the record industry. I like that album better.
Oh no, man, that's hard. I mean, I agree with you because it was a toss up for me. I didn't know exactly how to pick it, but I had to go. I mean, this one got a world tour. It got 8 Million Stories, Sucking Niggas, Midnight, Electric Relaxation, Keep It Rolling, Lyrics to Go. I mean, I thought that Midnight Marauders had more fire on it from front to back.
Okay, I got you. But this one had
Oh.
the jazz verses from the abstract vibes and stuff. Infamous date. Yeah, it's just a guy like this guy. It's not as polished as Midnight Marauders, and I can see how Midnight Marauders is labeled as their best. But I got a low end theory I got to show love to. Then the rest is the same as yours, man. Number 5 is Aquemini. And then I cheated on this one too. Sorry, Super. I got Eric B and Rakim Paid in Full at number 4. And then I got Straight Outta Compton 3, It Takes a Nation 2, Enter the Wu-Tang 1. So yeah, I cheated a little bit. I thought the duo and the rapper, the MC and the rapper, that's a group.
Yeah,
Both of y'all
I mean,
tripping though, man.
I didn't want to do that, man. Just I didn't really want to do that.
I thought about that too, like the one rapper, one producer, But y'all forgot, how did y'all, from the South too? You from the South and you forgot one of my favorite groups, TRU? How y'all forget
True.
that?
Hey, no, we
dog. That's on my
no.
list, dog.
Hey, listen.
Game gotta be on the list.
About it.
Hey,
come on, man.
we definitely we spoke about it. We actually texted about it, and
Okay.
it made it's on my honorable mentions list. It's on my honorable mentions
the game
list.
was fire, man.
It is fire though. It
bro.
is one of them. It definitely is one of my favorite albums. Really, honestly, too.
Bro,
I
didn't make my list through the whole time we talking. I didn't do it in no particular order, but that True to the Game was definitely on there.
Hey, what did I text you? I text Super
Yeah,
Duper yesterday.
He
I
did.
said what's on TRU.
I didn't.
I agree with you.
But I got a personal list
agree.
that I just created right here in no particular order.
Come on, man.
And my list.
Onyx too. Y'all left out Onyx, but it's okay.
No, hey, Leroy, which one you got from Onyx? Which one would you say?
See, I got Shut 'Em Down. Then back to F Up.
I got All We Got Is Us.
I mean, you can't go wrong with. I mean, hey, that's crazy. But Onyx though, all 3 of them albums is ridiculous.
You got a list, Von?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, I got a 20, but it's not in no particular order. These are just my personal favorites.
All right.
And no particular order. I got Hot Boys Guerrilla Warfare.
That's on my list.
I got G-Unit Beg for Mercy. I got Dipset Diplomatic Immunity. I got Wu-Tang Into 36 Chambers. I got Dog Pound Dog Food. I got Junior Mafia Conspiracy. That was a dope album. I do got True to the Game. I do got Jay and Kanye Watch the Throne. I got UGK, but I don't have Riding Dirty. I got Underground Kings. And
okay,
I like that album that came out around that time, Underground Kings. But I do like Riding Dirty. I do too.
That'll work.
My personal Underground Kings. I got Migos Culture. I think that was a dope first album for them. I got NWA Straight Outta Compton. I got Outkast Aquemini. I got State Property Chain Gang Volume 2. I thought that was a fire one. I got Criss Cross Young, Rich, and Dangerous.
Hey, you right though. You right. Hey, my homeboy asked me that, and I'm like, yeah, I could put it on here, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if it was really right. But you right though when you saying that.
Young,
you right.
Dangerous, man. Like that pen, the brat. Like, come on, man. That album, like,
they killed that.
Yeah.
They killed
I grew up off that album. I grew up off that.
My cousin's name is Chris, so we always did this crisscross thing back in the. We was we was crisscrossed out. But go ahead.
I mean, no matter what, man, you got to give Crisscross some credit, man. They was kids, but they even when you listen to it now, they not corny, man. You know what I mean? They shit still hit, man. It still sounds good to me still right now. It's not corny to listen to Crisscross.
I got Clips, Lord willing. I got The Lots, We Are the Streets. I got 8 Ball MJG Coming Out Hard. I got Boys in the Hood, that first album. And this my last 2, these are just personal favorites to me. I grew up off them. I got 69 Boys, 99 Quad. I grew up off that. I grew up off bass music. So, and they from Jacksonville, Tootsie Roll, all that. They from Jacksonville. So I got to put 99 Quad in there. And then for my number 20 is always a toss up because I believe that the Hot Boys actually has another one in there. But I got to give it to to Goody Mob on Soul Food. Even
Hey,
though
let me ask you this, Siobhan, because this made my honorable mention list too. Um, the Big Timers, man, how you love that volume 2.
yes,
I
I
Yeah.
grew
think
up
I
off
honestly,
I grew up off Cash Money, so you they like I didn't want to just load up with Cash Money stuff because
hey,
there's some joints, dog. Like
that's an
it,
underrated. That's an underrated Cash Money album, man. Like that album is fire. I love that album. It's got a lot of slick talking. People don't give it a lot of credit, man. But the album is fire, especially depending on where you from and where you at. That album is a classic. Cutlass Monte Carlos and Regals, Millionaire Dream, Top of the Line nigga. Like them all this whole
yeah,
thing. The
that's what I'm
whole
saying.
the whole thing was fire.
But but the Hot Boys Guerrilla Warfare, man, I still could listen to that, But these are albums that I grew up off of, and even I know I had some more recent ones like Migos Culture, but like I ain't gonna lie, when Culture hit the streets, I didn't like the Migos at first. It was like I was like, even when I was liking some of the stuff I was hearing in the club, I was like still kind of being a hater, like man, this ain't rap. But then that shit grew on me, and that Culture album was, I ain't gonna lie, it was one of those ones. But like these are the ones I grew up off of. I remember listening to State Property Chain Gang Volume 2 and had it on there, and you know, man, like these are albums that I really listen to.
I had
So
that first
these
Freeway
are all my
album stuck in my
favorites.
head today. That
Yeah,
first Freeway album was stuck in my head all day today. I don't know why it was, but Freeway, that first Freeway album, it was
A
crazy.
lot of people, it was hard to put a lot of guys on the list for me that with those typical names, like I said, like the De La Souls and a lot of those guys. I just didn't feel like a lot of those albums they just don't hold up as well as they
Y'all
just
ain't got no.
they're not holding up as well. So I think like for me, mine's is more just on like of a listening ability. But to keep it real, if I had to really put this Tupac and the Outlaws, if I didn't think I was gonna get more pushback, or I didn't think that people wouldn't want to count, but if we count Eric B and Rakim, I will push this Tupac and the Outlaws album probably closer to I would say probably 12, probably right next to Dog Food or right after Dog Food or something like that. Right
Right.
next to 8 Ball MJG or something like that. I think this album, to me, that album is underrated. People don't talk about that Tupac and Outlaws album enough. I mean, they really
Yeah,
don't.
it didn't have the promotion. It didn't
Yeah.
have the
Yeah,
promotion
it
when it
didn't
came.
have promotion, but people act like it's weak or something. Like
you
this
know what's
album is.
crazy is I discovered like my generation don't really care for the Outlaws, and I was just having this conversation the other day because my dog was like, man, some of Pac's joints he fucked up having Outlaws on there, and I was like, well, I don't know, because I like Napoleon's voice, dog. Like, pause. I like his voice over records. I thought like some of those Outlaws joints was hard, like, but I could see where somebody
I
come. Sometimes a delivery compared to Pac is like that's hard comparison, but
Yeah, I
I,
mean they
I
was
mean
his real friends. They was his
you can
friends. That's why
definitely
they have the rap.
say that Tupac carried the album. You can definitely
yeah,
say that. You know what I mean? But they still hold their own, and Tupac is part of the album. I mean, yeah, it's Tupac. I mean, he can be on there with a bunch of people and probably outshine them. So that ain't hard for Tupac to do. But I think that they held their own, man. These like you go back and listen to it, it's not a skip on there. It's not a
Y'all
skip on
list
the
was
album.
fire, man. Y'all forgot one other group though. One more group.
ooh.
Hip Hop Hooray! Oh, hey!
I like Naughty, but I didn't listen
Come
to
on.
Naughty album,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
Man,
I didn't want
that
to
could have
speak
been
on
an
that because
honorable
I didn't listen.
mention.
Man, it could have been an honorable mention, but for me, they don't have that album that's front to back fire, like front to
Okay.
back. I can't say that it's front to
Right.
back. You know what I'm saying? They might have some highs, some very high moments on it, but I don't think they have I don't think they have a well
Okay.
put together all the way front to back
Yeah,
album
yeah.
that's like
Right.
fire like that.
Honorable
Right.
mention: Capote Noriega, The War Report,
War Report.
Brand Nubian, One for All. That's an honorable mention.
Right.
Hey, you bring them up. I thought about CNN the War Report, but I kind of like the reunion a little better.
Mm.
The reunion was fire. That slept on. That slept
Yeah, the
on.
reunion was hard, but
Bang,
I
bang,
still
bang, bang.
some. I used to rock with the War Report daily though, so it's kind of hard. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying. I ain't revisited. I gotta revisit the reunion. I gotta check that out again.
Yeah. that was. I mean, I think it's. I don't know, man. It's kind of a timepiece too, a little bit because of the theme of the album was centered around Capone coming home, and so songs like Phone Tapped and not Phone Tap. What is that?
They had a better version of Phone Tap. That
Yeah,
they
that
version
they
was a
definitely
little bit
did.
iller.
Yeah, yeah.
Their
That
version
was
was
hard.
better than
That was
Phone
hard.
Tap.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm on the
So a
streets
lot of that
correcting a
album is kind of
nigga.
centered on them coming back together and
Yeah.
like kind of trying to rep they legacy and get things back together. But I do like a lot of them songs on there. You got Bang Bang too on there too.
That's what I said.
You
Bang
know what I'm
bang.
saying? Like,
Primo
yeah,
joint.
yeah.
Primo went crazy. But yeah, no, that was fire.
No doubt. No, now Leroy, you got a list, or you want to wait till Saturday to do yours?
But y'all got the same people I'm gonna put on my list. That's real. I mean, everything that y'all got is what I would have on my list. The only thing that, like I said, I would probably put Cypress Hill in there, but I'm a West Coast guy. You know, Cypress Hill, that they was
I
big
thought
out here,
I
crazy.
listened to their joint today, and I was like, I couldn't fit it on my list.
Hey,
Cypress Hill,
speaking of
crazy.
Cypress Hill, when I went back and was spinning through the West Side Connection Bow Down, I had forgot about King of the Hill, where Ice Cube was dissing Cypress Hill on there like that. Yeah, I had
Cypress
forgot
Hill
about
was
that album, man.
That
crazy.
that bow down beat is crazy though. Like
Yeah.
that's still hard to
Come
me
on,
now.
man. But that's about the only thing. And you know, my first time I ever heard a rap, like ever, period, it was Kid and Play. You know, like the first time I heard a rap come from out of stereo, it was Kid and Play. So that's, but everybody else, y'all got everybody else. I would have Dog Pound, Wu Tang, Little Brother, Onyx. I would have CL Smooth and Pete Rock though. Fuji's,
Ah,
Goody Mob,
I made a
The
mistake.
Roots.
I made a mistake. P Rock and CL Smooth was on my list. The main ingredient. I made a mistake, and also I need to take off their Run DMC, and I need to put Soul Food on there. So I'm gonna put our list on in the description of the video with
Right.
links to like Apple Music or Spotify, so y'all can go listen to the albums yourselves, and then y'all can tell us whose list y'all thought was better, who was bugging. So Savon, text me your list so I can put it under there as well, and with the
But I have to
links.
put it in order because I
Now
didn't
you ain't
put
got to
mine
put it in
in
order. Just put it how
far
you
because
want. Just put it, rock it
okay,
how you want to rock it.
Hey, I
okay.
can't lie, man. Putting it in order was difficult, man. It was
Yeah,
difficult
it's
to
hard
really.
putting these in order, man.
Yeah, it's
Put it in
hard putting
order.
it in
Put it in
order.
order. Put it. You put. It's hard to do. Put it in order.
I
It
don't
was
want.
definitely hard to do.
Oh man.
It was definitely hard to really,
I got it.
sit back and do it like that. Because I think a lot of my things was interchangeable. Like I'm looking at my honorable mentions out here, and I'm like, man, my honorable mentions is just as fire as as the
Right.
songs I actually put on the list. You know what I mean? Like it's a lot of fire out here, man.
A lot of
Shout
fire
out
out
to
here,
hip hop,
man.
man. It was fun making this list though. It made you go back and dig through and look at and really measure out the quality of the music. So I kind of enjoyed it. It made me do some homework, man. I had fun making this list.
This is a fun list, man. Super Duper was a great. It was a great idea, brother. So we appreciate that idea. We're gonna come up with some more lists as we wrap up and get to 2025 and get it popping. We're gonna wrap the show tonight because I got to get to the stove, man. I gotta get my yak. I got to get some Wookie, some vodka. I
You
gotta get
running
that
late, bro.
Tito's. I gotta get that. I gotta get that Michelob. You know what I'm saying? Ultra. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to lose some weight. You know what I mean?
Atlanta, the stores be open late at
I
night
got
in
to get the
Atlanta.
cranberry. I got to get that cranberry Sprite to mix my drinks with. You know what I mean? I got to go get a turkey. I'm running late. You know what I'm saying? I got to go get some macaroni and cheese. I got to go to the store real quick. But anyway, hit like and subscribe. Shout out to Ab Soul for tapping in with us. We appreciate that, man. We got more
Yes,
interviews to
for sure.
come. Enjoy
Right.
your families. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you have a faith-filled, family-filled, food-filled, football-filled Thanksgiving. Be safe if you're traveling. Make sure you hug your loved ones tight, and let's keep it positive,
Well,
man. We try to keep.
welcome to the show. Welcome to the show, Super. Welcome to the show, my guy. You
Hey
came
man,
through.
I pop in when I can. My phone face front and my camera messed up. So y'all know,
Good.
man, I'm usually on the road in my loud ass truck. So I finally got a chance to really sit down and show face today.
No doubt. Hey yo,
Fire.
yo, if y'all want to make your own list, put your list in the comments as well. Let's keep the comments positive. You know, we had to get some people out of here tonight, man, because they was talking reckless. Normally, we like again criticize. We're not above criticism. We're not above construction. constructive
Just with the
comments
guests. Just with
and
the guests,
commentary. When we
y'all.
have guests in our house, gotta be
Yes.
respectful for the guests. Don't be coming here talking about Ida D and all that. There's no place for that, bro.
There
So
was only one funny thing I did see in the comment during the interview.
what did you see?
And they called me Booker Hogan. I started rolling. I had to try to ease the
Oh,
laugh.
okay.
Because Savannah looked like Booker Hogan. I
Nah.
was like, oh shit, that's kind of funny.
That's funny.
I tried to hold it in. He got it off. I was like,
Right,
oh,
right.
that's funny.
That's funny. It's hip hop, man. It's hip
Hell
hop,
no.
man. Buddy
No,
talking
I
about
like that though. Like that was funny as hell. Like it was like in the beginning too. I was like, oh shit, I gotta. That shit was hilarious. I ain't
yeah,
gonna lie.
and these people be crazy. These
I
people
can take jokes. I don't care.
we
That was
appreciate
funny. He got that off.
we appreciate funny jokes because the same dude I booted tonight said, you know, he had a funny joke. My wife saw a comment he made. It's like he said, "Ron, where you get your Temu glasses from?" That's funny. I like that. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny commentary. But man, how much you gonna pull up on folks and you know whatever, man. I would strongly advise that against that. But anyway,
Hey,
let's keep
but
it
like I
positive.
said though, man, that like I said, he came through and blessed us. But somebody's gonna get a job out of this interview tonight. Like they, you know, like somebody was hired to work for that team out of that conversation. So that's the positive of hip hop. I'm just keep it a buck. So we gotta respect the guests because sometimes they out here changing people's situation, man. You know what I'm saying? He was
and
like,
you know,
yeah,
too, you know, he was so respectful, man, and like he wasn't trying to dodge no questions. He was straight up 100 with y'all as far as anything y'all asked, and
Yeah.
you know, it didn't seem like he was scared to touch nothing. He seemed real genuine with his responses and what you know what y'all really, you know, he was open for y'all. You know what I mean? So anything y'all wanted to say, and anything that I guess even probably anything anybody else wanted to say, if they wanted to super chat, he probably would have addressed it too. So I mean, he seemed like he was real cool, man. I like guys like that. It gives you some hope for the celebrity people. You know what I mean? Like they not all living in the cloud and thinking that they shit don't stink. You know what I mean?
yeah,
No.
but that's one big reason I want to get a lot of people on here because like a lot of these artists is real people, like they real dudes, but you don't know that until you see them talking. Then you're like, okay, that's a real person. So we gonna do more of that, especially next year, man. But that was fire. You know
No
what I
doubt,
mean?
no
For
doubt.
sure.
Hit like and
For sure.
subscribe, man. Get us to 100,000 subscribers so we can have our festival, man. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to Super Duper, Servon, Leroy, Mike, everybody that taps in with us, Mad Max, Esquire. I'm forgetting some folks, LP, anybody, Leroy Washington, anybody that shows us love, man. Make sure you enjoy your families for this Thanksgiving holiday. Be safe out here and keep loving hip hop, man. We'll tap in with you soon, man. Peace.
Appreciate that.
Salute, salute, salute.